to the game. They dominated that game. And Desharnais was out of the lineup because he had struggled. He and Nurse as partners in the Dallas series, and they pulled him out. So I was a little surprised by that. Having said that, nothing that Knoblauch has done thus far in the playoffs has not worked out to perfection. So we will see Vinny with a little bit of excitement, and that is a big man coming into a game playing against a big, strong, physical team. So there is some method to the madness, and we'll see how it works out.
We thought at this stage in his career, Corey Perry's 39 years of age, that he may get spotted once in a while. He played game one. Don't think him nor Evander Kane particularly were able to get in and sustain any forecheck. Perry is out. Sam Carrick is in down the middle. The Oilers lost the face-off battle. They get back a guy who is a right shot, gives him a right shot in the circle. Your thought on that change?
Well, we talked about it after the game that there's a possibility of a Carrick or a Derek Ryan, though we guessed it would be Carrick, would come in for game two because of the face-offs. The Oilers really they didn't have a right-hand option with both Ryan and Carrick being out of the lineup. And it was a significant advantage in the face-offs. I think it was 60% for the Florida Panthers. So I like the move, Carrick going in. It makes sense. A little bit more physicality, a little bit of nastiness. He was brought in at the trade deadline for games like this against teams like this. So I do like that move. It's probably an 8-minute night for Sam Carrick, but I think the fact that he can kill penalties if needed and he can take face-offs on the right side is huge.
Yeah, no question about that. So 31 of 38 goals, and Jim Matheson brought that stat up. Jack circled back to it. 31 of the 38 goals scored against Bobrovsky in the playoffs have been elevated. Now, Rob, I have a theory that the easiest place to score, and you can correct me, but statistically speaking, is in the lower third of the net. And there's some goaltenders, and Bob's one of them. He can take away the lower third of the net. I was surprised because he's got a pretty good glove hand, too. I've seen him get beaten to the blocker side a fair amount. I was surprised in the two breakaways. Edmonton went deep on a goalie that's got the tremendous footwork that he does. What are the keys? He scored 49 goals one season. What are the keys to scoring on elevated shots?
Well, it's funny, there's been a lot of talk about the percentage of goals that have gone upstairs on Bobrovsky. I'd love to see a comparison because they're not really telling you what any other goaltenders allowed. I believe, I always went top glove. It was my bread and butter. That's where I wanted to shoot. And I trusted my shot more than I felt that the goaltender could save it. If I hit my shot, it went in. Everybody has a spot that they feel real comfortable with. It's really hard if you've got an open look. Your instincts go right to your spot. Here's where I always have success. I do believe that they will talk about it between periods. They will talk about it in practice yesterday. They will mention it before the game tonight. That try to get the puck up. It's not easy to do because there are other factors. Where you get the puck, is it in your feet? Is it you're extending your body? Is there a stick in the way? All of those factors come into play, and how much time you have to make that decision. But they will make an effort to try and raise the puck. But to me, you think the lower half, to me, it was always the top half was easier. The goalie's shoulders are smaller. The gloves that are up in those two corners, they're only, 8 inches wide each. There's a lot more space upstairs. Especially with how
goalies play today too, Rob, right? Where
they go down. And so they go down into the butterfly. There's not much room, and all goaltenders are good side to side. So to me, how many goaltenders have we had come through Edmonton where Skinner, his gloves not good enough?
Yep.
Who was the big goaltender that we had a couple of years ago? Koskinen, go to his glove side. Those are always where you're going to shoot on goaltenders because to me, there's more space up there. Bobrovsky was locked in. He was locked in last game. I would expect it would be huge for the Oilers tonight to score in the first 10 minutes of this hockey game. Just put a little bit of doubt in the mind of the Florida Panthers and their goaltender that they can do what they did last game all over again.
Rob, it's got to be stated that the Edmonton Oilers all season long, right when you were ready to write them off, be it in the start of the year after the 2-9-1 start, maybe during the Vancouver series when they fell behind 2-1 and 3-2, against Dallas when they fell behind 2-1, they have been a team that seemingly has been able to pull themselves out of the abyss.
Well, I think because they're good. I mean, I have a hard time finding a team in the NHL that can beat them 4 times. I know that a lot of people picked Florida in this series, and rightfully so. They are good. They're very good. Dallas last series. I could understand why people think that Dallas could have beat the Oilers, but to me, the Oilers are a very good team. I think that as a fan and an analyst, we get to see them so often, so we will nitpick and find things that are wrong with them. But their top 6 defensemen, or top 7, is good. Their forwards are great. Stuart Skinner has given them quality starts in big moments. To me, the Oilers have the best 2 players in the world. They have the best power play in the world, and their penalty killing is through the roof. I do believe that the Oilers have a team that could and should win this series, and I haven't changed. Whether they lost first game, if they lose tonight, I still have faith that the Edmonton Oilers at the end of this series will be hoisting the Stanley Cup.
Let's go at this time to the Ford Keys to the game, and they are brought to you by Ford. Chorus are the official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, built for proud.
Well, I think the first thing with this, continue what you did at the beginning of last game. Get pucks in deep. Use your speed. If I'm Connor McDavid and I'm coming down the ice, I'm crisscrossing, getting on Ekblad's side. I'm going down his side, trying to take him wide each and every time. Be physical, but don't take penalties. And when you get your power play, fire pucks from all areas. Just keep firing pucks. Yep, you got a bomb from the back end. You've got Hyman, who's got incredible hands around the net. Just keep firing. If you can't beat them with quality, beat them with quantity. The more shots give you more opportunities for the puck to find the back of the net.
Rob, it's going to be wonderful. The Florida Panthers are coming to the ice as we speak. We will have Rob Brown and Reed Wilkins during our end of the roll first intermission. We will tell you that we're likely to have a very special guest right at the end of the first period. So stay tuned for that. The Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers have come on the ice. Jack Michaels is getting ready to give us the call. Game 2, Florida up 1-0. The Stanley Cup final up next. But for Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they're the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Chemco's building industry across Canada, and now they're on the lookout for civil and electrical project managers, estimators, and superintendents to join their dedicated team. Why Chemco? Because Chemco cares. They put people first, offering top-tier compensation packages and an unwavering commitment to safety. At Chemco, safety isn't just a priority, it's everybody's business. Ready to be part of a team that truly values you? Visit chemco.com/careers today.
We bring you back live to Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. Jack Michaels along with Bob Stauffer as we get set to see if Edmonton can even this best-of-7 final at a game apiece. Our Coventry home starting lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. Stuart Skinner, who faced just 17 shots on Saturday in Game 1. In front of him, Matthias Eckholm and Evan Bouchard. And up front, Zach Hyman, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Connor McDavid. Your starting lineup brought to you by the preferred builder of the Edmonton Oilers, and that would be Coventry Homes. Of course, Florida counters with Sergei Bobrovsky and net, Ekblad and Forsling defensively, and now to the anthems.
Our home and native land, true patriot love in strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please remain standing for the presentation of our nation's colors by the United States Navy Honor Guard. Here to perform the Star-Spangled Banner, fresh off the release of her single Wicked Game, please welcome Season 23 winner of The Voice, Gina Miles.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets roared, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Now, tonight's exclusive NHL broadcast.
Here he shoots and scores. Now it's Price on the left to Connor McDavid. Centers Kane for the hat trick. He scores.
All the action called by the voices who know the game inside and out.
This crowd explodes.
Bob Stauffer and Jack Michaels on the Oilers Radio Network.
We welcome you back to Amerant Bank Arena. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer, the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. McDavid, Nugent-Hopkins, and Hyman will be up front defensively. Eckholm and Bouchard. Stuart Skinner in net. Sergei Bobrovsky coming off a 32-save shutout in Game 1. Referee Jean Hebert and Chris Rooney set to go with Game 2. The Edmonton Oilers in the white outlined in orange and blue, and the Florida Panthers in the red uniforms and blue pants. Here we go with the drop of the puck for Game 2, and Connor McDavid has the opening face-off. Bouchard will send it in. Ekblad chips it out of midair, and the Panthers, clad in the red, will move in through the neutral zone right to left. Getting it in deep behind the net is Sasha Barkov. Loose in the corner and pulling it behind Matthias Eckholm is Barkov, still working against Connor McDavid now. Oilers pinned in their own zone to start this first period. Sent across, Ekblad to Forsling, save made, Stuart Skinner, rebound, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He'll clear to Bouchard, and the Oilers backing off D in their own zone. Opening minute of Game 2 and Saturday's Game 1. It was Edmonton for the first 32 minutes, by and large, dominating the flow of play. Here's an icing call whistled against the Oilers up the right-hand side.
Well, Oilers win a draw and get the puck deep off the gate, but then Edmonton turns the puck over, and away you go. And we end up in a situation here where the Oilers do not end up completing the pass, and now we have a D-zone draw here for the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers with an opportunity, Jack.
Off the face-off, the Oilers work it up the right-hand side and out of the zone. Retrieved by Gustav Forsling and ahead for Evan Rodriguez. He'll send it to Nico Mikkola. Knocked off his stick by Leon Draisaitl, and the puck trickles back behind the net and handled by Vinny Desharnais, who's playing tonight for the first time since Game 3 of the Dallas series. Under control is Sam Bennett, maintaining in the offensive zone for now. Oilers, a bit of a slow start here in the first minute and a half, but now they'll bust out with Desharnais up to Holloway and now on to Leon Draisaitl. Too far for Adam Henrique and cleared back through the middle, and Desharnais inadvertently swatted that puck into the Edmonton bench. As we get a look at your Coventry lineup, following up on some of the changes we expected after Game 1, and Bob, I speculated Vinny Desharnais might be back in the lineup. Philip Broberg gave the Oilers 17 quality minutes, and indeed he stays in. Cody Ceci joining Warren Fogle and Ryan McLeod as guys who were not scratched at all during the 82-game regular season, who've taken a seat in the press box here in the playoffs. Neutral zone face-off, and it's whistled in by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Third pairing defenseman with Dmitry Kulikov. Warren Fogle on a revamped third line with Evander Kane on that left-hand side. Fogle will switch over to right wing with Ryan McLeod in the middle. Corey Perry sitting down the night. Sam Carrick moves into fourth-line center while Adam Henrique jumps up with Draisaitl and Dylan Holloway. Here's a shot taken by Anton Lundell entering the offensive zone, and it's deflected harmlessly out of play with 2 minutes gone by in this first period, and Edmonton and Florida locked in a scoreless tie.
Well, good stick there from Philip Rosberg. He closed gap, and that forced the puck to be elevated up and over the glass. Chris Knobloch looking to get Edmonton going here. Oilers head coach. Couple lineup changes. Sam Carrick out for the first time. Fourth line against fourth line here. 2 minutes into the game.
Carrick between Janmark and Connor Brown, of course. And now with Stephen Lawrence preparing to take the draw, instead it'll be Kevin Stenlund. A right-handed shot matched up against Carrick, the fellow righty. And what a moment for Carrick this has to be. A Stanley Cup final appearance. He was in the minors for most of a decade before finally cracking the Anaheim lineup on a full-time basis. He won the draw. The Oilers pull it into the Panther zone, and immediately Florida gets a zone exit. Janmark at center ice will stuff it right back into the Florida zone. Bobrovsky, the oldest goaltender in the history of the Stanley Cup final to get a shutout in Game 1, supplanting Patrick Waugh, who did it back in 2001 of a series where the Avalanche outlasted New Jersey in 7 games. Stenlund in from the right-hand side, tried to center, stolen away by Connor Brown, and here comes Sam Carrick up through center. He'll shovel it in. I talked to Connor Brown before the game, Bob. He said the ice here in Florida much better than either Dallas or Vancouver, which caught us a little bit by surprise. Here's Reinhart through the neutral zone off to Carter Verhaeghe. All he does is score goals for the Florida Panthers in the playoffs. 10 of his 25 have been game winners. He got the only one Florida needed to open the scoring 4 minutes into Saturday's game. Cleared up the left-hand side by Henrique and deflected up and out of play with 3 1/4 gone by in this first period, and the Panthers having registered the game's only shot on net.
Yeah, they've done this has been a bit like what we saw. Now, the Oilers missed a chance off a 2-on-1.
Right, but in the final 25 minutes of Saturday night is what you're thinking.
Yeah, they really shrink-wrapped the ice out there in the Edmonton Oilers, and Edmonton didn't have a lot in transition after a first half of the game that Edmonton completely dominated the hockey game, but we're behind 2-0.
Face-off win for Evan Rodriguez. He got the second goal in the second period the other night. Wins the draw, and it's sent up the left-hand side by Ekman Larson, and that will be an icing call whistled against Florida. Devin Berg and Ryan Daisy are our linesmen. We mentioned Bear and Rooney, the referees. Edmonton has been excellent in this postseason, 5-1 following a defeat, and they've been led by Connor McDavid, who has 3 goals and 16 points in that scenario. Right now, though,
he's on the ice.
He's on the ice with Draisaitl and Hyman, and we saw this towards the end of second period Saturday night. So the Oilers changing it up and going with their best 5 right here. Draisaitl wins the faceoff. Eckholm over to Bouchard. His shot deflected, grabbed by McDavid. Breaking away from Kulikov, rolling up top, but Sam Bennett picks him up nicely on a switch, and now McDavid reverses field, trying to go backdoor for Zach Hyman, and that pass was off the mark. Matthew Tkachuk ahead for Bennett, and up the left-hand side, Rodriguez hits the line, kicks it to the on-rushing Bennett. He tried to backhand it in front, broken up, out to the point. Ekblad a shot and a save. Stuart Skinner, who got the left arm extended and made the save in front of Matthew Tkachuk, who was trying to slide in front and create some traffic.
Well, Connor McDavid was looking for the Oilers' Zach Hyman for a one-touch in front. But, Jack, I just want to assert you, I think Edmonton's got to get more pucks to the net here. I mean,
McDavid did have 6 shots in game 1, and you don't mind him keeping that shooter's mentality.
100%. Like, I mean, if he can get 6, the likelihood of him not scoring on 12 shots in the start.
You'll take your chances, in other words.
All day.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the ice now for a face-off, and Henrique comes in, got the draw with Holloway. They'll advance through center. Broken up, quick gap played by Forsling, who, Bob, we're finding out is Florida's answer to Matthias Eckholm in terms of underrated defenseman in the league. Ekblad back to scoop it up for Florida off an Edmonton dump in. Right-hand side for Hagee, and shot in deep by Sam Reinhart. Around the boards, trying to hunt it down for Hagee. Did so for Barkov, who assisted on 2 of the 3 Florida goals Saturday night. Shot Mikula blocked in front by Philip Broberg. Poised as can be. He's calling for that puck. Gets it from Henrique. Takes a shot, and that's deflected up and out of play. 4.5 gone by in the first period. Love the assertiveness there from Broberg.
Slow developing rush up the ice, and Henrique's such a smart player. He recognized that Broberg was activating and gave him a little bit of time and space, and they got a stick on the way. 1 shot on goal for the first 4:30 of this game, Jack.
As you said, shrink-wrapped, airtight, whatever euphemism you want to use. McLeod between Fogle and Evander Kane. And off the face-off, trickles to the right of Sergei Bobrovsky. Laid ahead, left-hand side for Carter Verhaeghe. He'll dump it behind the Edmonton net. Plowed into was Nurse. Taking a hit, McLeod. A shot from the corner was redirected, and Anton Lundell is on it for Florida. Behind the net, Vladimir Tarasenko looking to keep it alive. Luostarinen got down low. Nurse up the left-hand side. Grabbed Tarasenko, and just out of the reach of Lundell. He'll take a shot left wing, and a save made by Stuart Skinner. Rebound Tarasenko, ripped on net, a save made by Skinner. Now Nurse looking to clear, held in, shoveled wide of the net. Stuart Skinner occupying that net. Once again for Edmonton, very good record after a loss in his postseason career, 7-2. McLeod able to clear. Grabbed back by the veteran Kyle Opozo. He tried to squeeze through a pair of Oilers, could not do it. Desharnais came up with a puck, got it back from Ryan McLeod, and he'll move up ice left to right. Edmonton in the white, Florida in the red. Punch forward by Warren Fogle, and retrieved by Stephen Lawrence of the Panthers. Scratches for Florida, Nick Cousins and Ryan Lomberg. Dumped in. Bouchard, beautiful outlet for McDavid, lost the handle, and Hyman juggled that puck through the timing off the play, but that was really started when McDavid didn't handle it initially. Florida's got the only 3 shots on net, and in terms of a Game 2 bounce back, Bob, Edmonton yet to record a shot on Bobrovsky, and we're nearly 6 minutes in.
Yeah, and they haven't had a lot of times in the offensive zone, to say the least here. We're having a little bit of problem just with the effects. I don't know if they're quite kicking in and out, Jack, so just our apologies as we work our way through it.
Carrick moving in for the draw. against Sam Bennett, who seems to save his best stuff for the playoffs. Had an assist once again the other night. He and Verhaeghe, Bob, have combined for 6 goals and 5 assists in the 3 wins that Florida's logged over Edmonton this year, including Game 1 on Saturday night when Verhaeghe scored a goal and Bennett had an assist. Bennett finishes his check on Bouchard, and that's going to be a penalty. Bennett came thundering in, caught a piece of Bouchard, and now a late shot delivered at Carrick by Matthew Tkachuk. They continue to jaw and ultimately will be pried apart, but this is a penalty against Sam Bennett. And though Florida has been outstanding on the PK, and there's still some nastiness, is getting in the mix was Eckholm, and Matthias Janmark wants a conversation. This is going to be a Oiler power play, and Edmonton went 0 for 3 the other night. Tripping call, Bennett taking down Evan Bouchard, trying to finish his check to the side of the Oiler net. So when we come back, Edmonton, without a shot on goal in the first 6 minutes, will get the game's first power play. There's no score in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. You're listening to it live from Sunrise, Florida on the Oilers Radio Network.
Be a savvy Edmonton hotel shopper. Book through Edmonton'sBestHotels.com and receive up to $225 in cash rewards. There are over 50 member hotels to choose from offering their best value rates. Edmonton'sBestHotels.com. Rewards with every booking.
Hockey fans, with a spotless reputation, Scandinavian Building Services is responsible for keeping over 70 million square feet of space clean and safe every day. With over 65 years in the industry, no cleaning challenge is too big or too small. From national retailers and commercial spaces to small offices and entertainment centers like Rogers Place, let Scandinavian take the worry off your cleaning program. Visit Scandinavian.ca to learn more. Scandinavian Building Services. Our reputation is spotless.
MIC is a leader in medical imaging and the official medical imaging provider to the Edmonton Oilers. Make MIC your choice. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, the game doesn't stop for injury. MIC's sports medicine imaging specialists can help you get back in the game with a timely and expert diagnosis. Go where the pros go. For a location near you, visit mic.ca.
Be a savvy Edmonton hotel shopper. Book through Edmonton'sBestHotels.com and receive up to $225 in cash rewards. There are over 50 member hotels to choose from offering their best value rates. Edmonton'sBestHotels.com. Rewards with every booking.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Face-off will be held to the right of Sergei Bobrovsky as the Edmonton Oilers on an ATCO Energy power play looking to break a scoreless tie. And Leon Draisaitl wins the face-off. Here's Bouchard, high slot, moving it to McDavid in front off a skate. And Forsling twists up the left-hand side and out. Head to Luos Turainen at center ice, moves it in across the line, and then pitchforks the puck into the corner. And Florida will try to keep Edmonton bottled up here. The Panthers have wiped out 35 of the opposition's last 37 power plays, covering a 14-game stretch. Only gave up 1 power play goal to the New York Rangers in beating them in 6 games in the East Final. Here's McDavid in, left to right, hands to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Oiler power play 0 for 3 the other night, but 35% in the postseason. Here's Draisaitl, chipping it down low for McDavid. Back to Draisaitl, right circle, curled it in front. Nugent-Hopkins to McDavid, cross ice, deflected away from Draisaitl, and that hopped over the plexi. Bobrovsky was down and out. The Panthers feel like Hyman might have gotten a piece of him, and Ekblad takes exception. 1:09 to go in this ATCO power play with Bennett in the box for a trip. Florida will take some penalties, no question about it. Incumbent upon the Oilers to cash in and make the Panthers pay.
51 seconds into the power play, still don't have a shot on goal in the game for Edmonton. We're 7 minutes into the game here.
Florida has 4 shots, all repelled by Skinner. We're scoreless in Game 2. Draisaitl battling off the draw. Puck squirts free and wide of Sergei Bobrovsky. Then a hard rim up the left-hand side and out. It escaped Bouchard, and the Panthers will watch the Oilers give chase. Skinner will leave it for Bouchard directly behind the Edmonton net. Power play goals in the playoffs. Leon Draisaitl 6, Hyman 5, Nugent Hopkins 4. And again, McDavid, a brief bobble as he comes in from the right-hand side. That's twice we've seen that, Bob. And this is going to lead to a Kulikov clear. And we'll see whether Edmonton elects to keep its top unit on. They will, with 35 seconds to go in the Atco Energy power play. Your trusted Alberta retailer. Drop off for Draisaitl. He'll hustle it in from the right-hand side. Forsling rolled over, made it look easy, Bob, and he wedges it back inside the Edmonton line. Stuart Skinner up the left-hand side. Oilers narrowly avoided it. Too many men there, and McDavid swoops in for Draisaitl. The power play set to come to an end. Bouchard across. Ekblad got his stick in the lane on Hyman, who kept it alive for McDavid on the left half boards. Now Draisaitl's open. Cross ice, deflected away by Ekblad from Hyman, and a hard rim off the glass and out. And the Oilers passed up on a few shot opportunities there, and they see their power play go by with nary a shot on goal. And now the Panthers on the forecheck. Matthew Tkachuk cross ice, blasted on net by Ekman Larson. He got a piece of that one, and a save made by Stuart Skinner.
Nurse is hurt. Jack, he took a shot. He got pinched against the boards, and he's going straight off.
Straight off. We'll see whether he's going underneath. He is. He made eye contact with TD Force, and he will go underneath. He's limping. I wouldn't say badly, but that's about the extent of what Bob and I could determine from up here in our broadcast location. Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth, perched atop press row, first level.
You hate to see a scenario where you lose momentum off a power play, but they never shot the puck.
Well, and now you're talking about a 20-minute defenseman potentially hobbled here. Off the draw, Kulak, an outlet for Connor Brown. He'll shovel it through the middle, and that's pounded in by Janmark. Bobrovsky curling the puck over to Brandon Montour. Up the right-hand side, Tkachuk. Sam Bennett, right-hand side for Evan Rodriguez. Panthers have something developing, but Bennett overran the play. Carrick fell down. Tkachuk jumped into a seam. Right circle, snapshot, and a save made by Stuart Skinner, who's made 6 stops here in the early going, Bob. He's allowed Edmonton to work itself into the game. The problem for the Oilers, no shots on net through 9 minutes, and they've had the game's only power play.
Rodriguez hurt. He ran into Carrick, and he went off. Looked like an upper body injury for Evan Rodriguez. Lower body for Nurse.
Rodriguez, did he go underneath, Bob?
No.
So chipped in by Luostarinen. Outlet pass broken up by Lundell. And through the neutral zone, Luostarinen will get it back from Tarasenko, and then he went knee-to-knee with Fogle. And now the Panthers are upset on that hit from Fogle. Lundell getting in the mix along with Nico Mikkola. Luostarinen is down on the ice and has not moved. And the Panthers are furious. Fogle will be sent to the box. Luostarinen is down. And the Panthers are really unhappy with that hit from Fogle. Luostarinen looks like he might be done for the night.
They think that Bouchard threw the hit, but it was Fogle.
Now the question is
it a 5 or a 2?
Is it a 5 for kneeing? Now, the one thing is, Fogle doesn't really leave his path.
No. So it'll be a 2-minute mark.
He didn't stick his knee out in the sense, and now Luostarinen, maybe it's a Charlie horse, because looks like he's able to put some weight on it.
Fans here don't even understand when a guy's tracking on his path.
Right. I mean, Fogle did not leave his path. It's a penalty. We're not saying it's not a penalty. I still think Luostarinen might be done for the night, Bob. I mean, he might not be done for the series, but he's being helped off. They are reviewing it after the 5 was assessed. So anytime a 5-minute major, Bob, they're going to review it. And in my estimation, as Luostarinen moves in, Fogle does not appear to leave his path, but does he joust his knee forward along the same path? And,
to me, Bennett's was, well, this is a quick decision.
Yeah, this is a very quick decision. Do we have the ref mic here? Here's Jean Hebert.
After review, the play on the ice is confirmed. We got a 5-minute major.
So there it is, 5-minute major for kneeing, and the Florida Panthers will be on the power play. And it's a continuous power play for 5 minutes.
It's the exact same, I mean, Bennett goes down, sticks his knee out on Evan Bouchard. To me, 6 of one, half dozen of the other here.
10:39 to go in the first period. Panthers have outshot the Oilers 6-0. And now a face-off awaits to the right of Stuart Skinner. The red light is on, but the ice crew has not come out because we're not past the 10-minute mark. And there's still some deliberation. I mean, I assume Fogle's gone. They didn't announce it. But he's gone. I mean, that's it. And it's a 5 in a game, so Fogle's gone for the night. Oilers are going to be down to 11 forwards. And Warren Fogle was coming off a pretty good game one.
And they're down 5 to each, too, because they don't nurse.
And currently, they're looking at 11-5. And, you know, in this penalty-killing situation where you've rattled off 30 in a row, now you're missing Darnell Nurse. So now we do have a timeout on the ice, and we will take timeout from here as Florida, when we come back, will be on a 5-minute power play midway through the first period. No score. This is Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final in Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
Portage College graduates are incredibly employable. How does Portage know? 99% of employers surveyed said they would hire a Portage grad. Get career ready at Portage College. Learn more by visiting portagecollege.ca.
Blue-collar work deserves big-dollar perks. Get a heavy wallet with Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals is hiring heavy equipment technicians, maintenance supervisors, PM servicemen, maintenance coordinators, and pretty much every other position that makes Alberta go. We help move the earth that makes Alberta grow. So why not work for a company that makes your bank account grow too? Visit heavymetalequipment.ca to find your new career. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals, helping you move the earth.
Believing in yourself takes confidence. At Portage College, 93% of grads say their education gave them the skills and knowledge they needed for their careers. That's the kind of confidence that leads to great results. Learn more at portagecollege.ca.
All games, all seasons. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Welcome you back live to Sunrise, Florida. Again, appreciate your patience as we continue to work out some technical difficulties on our end. But what we can tell you is that the Oilers will be shorthanded here for 5 minutes. Warren Fogle, a 5 in a game. And, of course, you already have Darnell Nurse underneath. So right now an 11-5 situation without 2 of your penalty killers, Fogle and Nurse. Draw one by Florida. Napa Auto Parts penalty kill has been perfect on 30 in a row, covering an 11-game stretch. Here's Verhaeghe trying to change that against Desharnais. Nugent Hopkins, Sam Carrick, and Matthias Eckholm, the other penalty killers. Wrapped around the boards, Verhaeghe can't maintain the zone. Carrick just enough pressure. It slid over to Matthew Tkachuk. He'll rifle it back rink wide for Verhaeghe, and now picking it up and moving in is Sam Reinhart, who had 27 power play goals during the regular season, 4 in the playoffs. Shot Tkachuk redirected wide of Stuart Skinner. Rebound hammered around the boards by Montour, trying to hold the zone. Tkachuk's second effort mustered a keep, and now Verhaeghe tried to go to the middle. Eckholm's clearer hit Janmark, but he was able to recover the puck and eventually muscle it inside the Florida blue line. Panthers on a reset. And grabbing it, Bennett circling and waiting for new personnel to come on the ice. Ryan McLeod, meanwhile, Kulak, Broberg, and Enrique out for the Oilers. Panthers right to left. Bennett will gain the line. Tarasenko flipped it toward the net. Ends up in the far corner. Adam Henrique to McLeod, and he'll club it down the right-hand side. 9:15 remaining in the period. The Panthers do not have a shot yet on this power play, and quickly 90 seconds has run off the 5-minute major. And here's Janmark not only making a steal, but drawing 2 minutes off the clock. It'll be 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes as Janmark drew a tripping minor. Brilliant read, the steal, and then the tripping minor handed out to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Now we'll skate 4-on-4 with 9:02 to go in this first period.
Well, the other thing that this does here is McDavid and Draisaitl get a shift here. It was a 5-minute major. They weren't going to be able to get it. And so we end up in a situation here where we see what the Oilers can do, and Florida's going to have to maybe use some players that they haven't seen a lot of out here, although they're going to go with Barkov and Reinhart head-to-head against McDavid and Draisaitl. So Florida was on the power play, but they had their second unit on the ice when that occurred. Their first line gets back out. They're 2/3 of their first line.
9:02 to play in the first period. Edmonton now with McDavid and Draisaitl, really an attacking mode scenario here with Eckholm and Bouchard. Oilers treating this as maybe a power play within a Florida power play.
Well, they got good guys in the ice for Florida too, Jack, as you know.
Off the face-off, Reinhart sees it pop free, and the Panthers come up ice 3-on-2. Here's Reinhart trying to shake off Bouchard. He's wallpapered against the end boards and toppled to the ice surface. McDavid hits Eckholm, and all of a sudden, maybe a 3-on-1. Eckholm in over the line with Draisaitl. Eckholm shoots, scores through Bobrovsky and trickles home. And Edmonton, on its first shot of the game, has taken the lead in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final.
Connor McDavid wins a puck battle back in the Edmonton zone and chips it up to Matthias Eckholm, who gets his feet moving. Very slow developing. There's really a 3-on-1 up the ice. And Eckholm with the presence of mind. A lot of focus. Hey, the Oilers got to shoot the puck high. That time he just shot it right through Sergei Bobrovsky. 1-0 Edmonton with the lead.
And after how brilliant Bobrovsky was in Game 1, that's a goal, quite frankly, Bob, and we talked about it Saturday, reminiscent of the one given up by Connor Hellebuck to Darnell Nurse way back in late November. You get one through the guy, and maybe the dam breaks. And Matthias Eckholm with his 5th of the postseason in the 4-on-4. The penalty taken by Ekman-Larsson comes back to haunt Florida. And now the Oilers still in a 4-on-4 scenario. This time with Draisaitl and Hyman on the ice. Draisaitl had his pocket picked, and Florida trying to shrug off the disappointment. Here's Bennett dishing off. Montour rifling, and the net was open, and Skinner might have gotten a piece with a desperate lunge at the last moment. I believe he deflected it out of play with a blocker.
Not quite sure there. What happened to Stuart Skinner? I don't know if he tracked this late or if he got bumped on the way.
He was just off balance.
Wow.
But he got a piece of it with the blocker, and it also clipped the crossbar on its way out of play. Montour basically with an open net, but Skinner got a piece, and then it hit the bar.
What a
Skinner
chance.
just lost his balance, Bob. Yep. Wasn't hit or anything. Lundell wins the faceoff. Here's Ekblad. So the Oilers score on their first shot. Lundell, a miscommunication with Forsling, and here's Draisaitl off the steal. Tried to set up a 3-on-2 with McDavid and Eckholm. Didn't pan out. Draisaitl taken against the corner boards in the offensive zone, and now Rodriguez with a clear to Lundell. At center ice, and now swooping in. Rodriguez, a drop pass, a dish. Ekblad's open, shoots, and that was fought off by Skinner. Rebound Lundell. Fires sharp angle, and that was heading wide, and Skinner will put it to rest with 7:47 to go in the first period. The Oilers get their first goal of the final. Matthias Eckholm with his 5th of the postseason.
Should be McDavid on the primary assist. He's the man that poked the puck free.
They did not announce it in-house. I'm not suggesting for a moment that you're wrong, as we get a face-off to the right of Stuart Skinner. And now they have awarded the assist, as you suggested, to Connor McDavid. Off the draw, and that was muffed by Forsling. 32nd point for Connor McDavid in this playoff run. He has 2 30-plus point seasons in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Gretzky had 6, Messier 3. The only men with more than 2. Here's Hyman beating Forsling down the right-hand side. No penalty was called as the puck was wrestled free.
How's that not a
Hyman
penalty?
back on it, checked by Forsling. Centers one-timer, and Broberg had a great chance. He just pushed it wide. Rodriguez came up with a rebound out to Sam Bennett. Left-hand side, Mikkola bumped off the puck, and now Bennett will take a skate back to center. And the Panthers look to regroup as the penalty to Ekman-Larsson set to expire. They'll still have about a minute 22 of power play time. But the Panthers giving up a 4-on-4 goal. And on the first shot of the game, Edmonton takes its first lead of the series. Matthew Tkachuk into the offensive zone, shot by Montour, handcuffs Skinner, but he's able to make the save. And Stuart Skinner, he has not been as spectacular as Bobrovsky, but he's held sway. He's made 8 first-period saves, and by keeping Florida off the sheet, he allowed Edmonton to kind of shake off a sluggish 11 minutes.
Gustav Forsling, I mean, that's a great defensive play for him, but pretty close to a penalty call. Zach Hyman bullied his way to the net. Important draw here for Nugent Hopkins.
Nugent Hopkins digging in. He'll do so against Reinhardt and win it cleanly for Matthias Eckholm, who bided his time and found an open lane down the right-hand boards. Bobrovsky out to handle it. Eckholm the shot, dribbling through the pads of Bobrovsky, and it's 1-0 Edmonton in Game 2 as they look to square the series, get a split, and head back home to Edmonton with home ice advantage. Steele Desharnais up to Connor Brown, short-handed, unable to get a shot away. Puck bouncing a little bit, and grabbed by Sasha Barkov. Panther power play has done nothing, and as a result, this crowd has been silenced. Barkov will snap it around the boards. Picked up by Reinhardt, following up is Matthew Tkachuk. 6 minutes to play, first period. Oilers lead the Panthers 1-0. 20 seconds left on the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. Centered, and that was picked off by Matthias Janmark. Ultimately over to handle is Montour, but the Panthers unable to get out of the starting blocks on this power play. And 5 minutes gone by, and the Panthers get virtually nothing. One shot on net on the power play, Bob. They only gave up one in the 4-on-4, but it went in. T.S. Eckholm on a partial 3-on-1. Dylan Holloway with the Oilers back at full strength to Eckholm up the left-hand side. McDavid nowhere near the puck, and Tarasenko crashed into by Holloway. That allows Draisaitl a centering attempt for McDavid, intercepted and forced back in by Forsling. Skinner will leave it for Eckholm, and Edmonton a reset. Again, fresh off the successful Napa Auto Parts penalty kill, it's McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman. Bouchard calling for McDavid to come grab the puck. Never a bad option. McDavid building speed through the neutral zone, playing on his dad's birthday, right around a man. A shot short-sided, a save made by Bobrovsky. His first of the night comes with 5 minutes remaining in the first period. So 2 nights after shutting Edmonton out with 32 saves, Bobrovsky has to wait 15 minutes for his first save of Game 2. Ekman-Larsson skating away from Ryan McLeod. Talking with a few of the Oilers this morning, they said, hey, Bobrovsky's a different guy. He's had 2 sleeps since shutting us out. He won't be the same guy. And they were right. Kane to Ryan McLeod. Deep in the Florida zone, trying to carve that puck loose. Evander Kane, who has not scored in this last 8 games, pulled free by Verhaeghe, and the Panthers will break out right to left. Soft chip, and that's fielded flawlessly by Stuart Skinner. Reinhardt put it to the side of the net, but Skinner read it and covered it with 4:05 to go in this first period. Edmonton having been outshot 8-2 in the first period of Game 2. A little bit of role reversal tonight as compared to the opener. This time it's Edmonton who scores on the first shot of the game. Matthias Eckholm from Connor McDavid. And it's the Oilers leading Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final 1-0. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The final from Sunrise, the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm proud to call myself an Albertan. You know, after years of touring this great province in my Ford F-150, I've learned the value of driving a tough, capable, smart truck. Whether you're working for the weekend or long-hauling it like I am, there's an F-150 for every Albertan, with plenty of options to choose from, like available Pro Power on board. So if you're looking for a new truck, stop by your Alberta Ford dealer and tell them PB sent you.
Pizza 73, the official pizza of your Edmonton Oilers. Loyal to the oil, in Edmonton we trust. Rising to the top like a pizza crust. Down to the crunch, got the flavors to play. The city of champs going all the way.
Experience the exciting casino action at 3 Century Casino locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton Airport. Dine at one of their amazing restaurants featuring daily specials. Check out the best in live entertainment at any amazing location. Plus, you can always enjoy a great selection of casino gaming options or try your luck at off-track betting. And now you can feel the thrill of live horse racing at Century Mile Racetrack. Century Casino has it all. Come for the action, stay for the fun.
You're listening to Oilers Hockey on 630 CHED and on the Radio Player Canada app.
Face off left side of Stuart Skinner. 4:05 to go in the first period. Saturday night in game one of the Stanley Cup Final, Edmonton outshot Florida 32-18. At one point, 24-8, down 2-0. And on that night, the Oilers had nothing to show for it. Tonight, different story. Scoring on their first shot against Bobrovsky in a 4-on-4. Holloway lugs the puck into the offensive zone with some support from Draisaitl. Couldn't get it to him, though. The Panthers come the other way, and it's shot in deep by Evan Rodriguez. First on the puck is Tkachuk. Tried to shovel it in front. That's picked off by Adam Henrique, and here come the Oilers. Holloway joins Draisaitl over the line, left to right. Quick shot, pulled wide by Draisaitl off the rush. Now Matthew Tkachuk is on it for Florida. Well, backhanded ahead. Rodriguez on to Sam Bennett. Slugged around the boards, and Tkachuk eventually on it for Florida. Turns and fires. That was blocked by Broberg. Tkachuk got off to a slow start this year. Finished the year with 88 points. Now McDavid will challenge Ekblad. Driving in, and a slap shot, kind of a half slapper, denied by Bobrovsky. And now Ekblad was wrenched down by McDavid, and Ekblad's hurt. McDavid pulled him down, kind of horse-collared him, and Ekblad's hurt. He can barely get off the ice. Panthers muster a clear back into the Oilers zone. Shoveled ahead by Bouchard, and that's going to be reset by Bobrovsky up the right-hand side. Eckholm back on it. Evan Bouchard looking at center, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has it. Eckholm will fire it in deep. Bobrovsky able to knock it down for Florida. Oilers lead 1-0 here in game two. Tarasenko up the right-hand boards with 2.5 to go in the first period. Sasha Barkov centering pass. Tarasenko denied point blank. Stuart Skinner, a sterling first period effort. He has 9 saves. 2:25 to go in the opening frame, Bob. The Oilers still up 1-0.
Real good net drive there from Tarasenko. He got inside positioning on the Edmonton Oilers, Connor McDavid. And right now, Edmonton's playing with 5 defense. And Ekblad has gone off for Florida.
I thought he was kind of wrenched down at the other end. I mean, McDavid kind of was off balance, and he kind of stretched out, and then Ekblad got his right foot caught behind him. He didn't really yank on him. It just kind of went into the boards, and then Ekblad kind of followed up. And McDavid ended up kind of using him for leverage to get back up. Wow. A dump in, and Montour whistles up the right-hand boards.
Ekblad's back on the bench, Jack.
So Ekblad able to shake it off. Darnell Nurse, Bob, you were getting a read that he was initially back on the bench. Is he still out there?
I do not see him on the end of the Oilers bench right now. I know Elliot Friedman reported he's back on the bench. The Oilers have only got 5D right now.
Mikula with a turnover in his own end. McLeod, Brown is shot towed aside by goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky. And here's Stephen Lawrence. Could not get around the long reach of 6'7" Vinny Desharnais. Brown was popped by Mikula as the Panthers dump it back in. And Brett Kulak will reset for Edmonton with 90 seconds to go in this first period. Brown has been quieted. The Oilers got the goal 4-on-4, and though being outshot 9-3 tonight, they've got a 1-0 lead in game two. Bouchard skating around Tarasenko. Luosterainen back in the game. Shot by Bouchard. Save Bobrovsky. Rebound Tarasenko. Bumped away from Luosterainen and pumped back inside the Florida blue line. Retrieved by Kulikov over to Ekman-Larsson. Backing off and snapping it ahead. Right side for Matthew Tkachuk. He'll guide it back into the Edmonton zone with a minute to go in this first period. Steal by Forsling. Driven in hard. Rocketed around the boards. Played cleanly by Holloway to Eckholm, and now on to Bouchard. Now Holloway tried to get through Evan Rodriguez. Could not do it. Lazily sitting at center, and now we've got a penalty coming.
It's against Edmonton.
Away from the play.
Bouchard high stick, maybe?
Yeah.
Stick got up on
Bennett. rough. And that happened earlier, and it was Bennett who got the call for tripping Bouchard. Now with 46 seconds to go in the period, Florida a bit of a freebie here. And
oh man, is that a bad call? That is an embarrassing call. I mean, congrats to Bennett for selling it there, but man, oh man, that's a tough call. Look who's on the ice here in the PK. Oh, they called one each way. Did they? No,
5-on-4.
So
Nugent Hopkins out there.
I had McDavid on Nugent Hopkins on the ice. So
Nugent Hopkins on the ice.
My apologies.
With Adam Henrique, that's okay. Eckholm and Vinny Desharnais round out the Napa Auto Parts penalty-killing quartet, 31 in a row. The Oilers trying to hold the Panthers off the score sheet and make it 12 in a row. They haven't given up a power play goal. The record is 13 set by that unlikely 21 Canadiens team that went to the final before losing to Tampa. Here's Carter Verhaeghe from the left circle off the draw, trading the puck with Reinhart beneath the goal line. Reinhart, pressure from Desharnais. Verhaeghe sent it out to the point. Montour, a blast wide of Skinner. Rebound cleared down the ice by Matthias Eckholm. And the Panthers have to hurry here. 20 seconds left in the opening frame. It's Edmonton 1, 4-0 in Game 2 of the final. Brown, pressure up ice on Verhaeghe. Barkov with support, swung it back to Montour. He gave it away, and Brown will ice it, and that will do it for the period. The Edmonton Oilers lead the game 1-0, despite being outshot by a count of 9-4. It's Matthias Eckholm in a 4-on-4 with the assist from Connor McDavid. Eckholm's 5th of the postseason, and the Oilers have a 1-0 lead in Game 2. Again, the shots 9-4 for Florida, and we will quickly wrap and break. And when we come back, we should have a special guest for our first intermission.
Yes,
Bob has a big smile on his face. That's the only hint we're going to give you. So we'll take time out and come right back to Emirates Bank Arena, where in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final, Matthias Eckholm from Connor McDavid has given the Edmonton Oilers a 1-0 lead after the opening 20 minutes. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey in the Stanley Cup Final, live from Sunrise, the Oilers Radio Network.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 955, is one of Alberta's largest and most diverse union locals in the province. Members work in everything from construction and maintenance to pipelines, renewables, healthcare, education, municipalities, and more. They are a big part of Alberta's past and will be a big part of Alberta's future. Apprenticeship, jobs, pension. That's IUOE Local 955. Visit joinustoday.ca to learn more, and let's go Oilers. Ready to score big on your outdoor space? It's game time with Park Landscaping. Transform your backyard into a winning arena with Park Landscaping's expert team. From design to maintenance of lush lawns and state-of-the-art synthetic turf to inviting pools and captivating water features, Park Landscaping will make your outdoor space the MVP. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in the game with Park Landscaping. Call 780-486-2744 today or email info@parklandscaping.ca.
At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the End of the Row first intermission. We have a special guest here, Amarant Bank Arena. The Edmonton Oilers are up 1-0 after 1. And we are joined by Wayne from the Edmonton operation. Wayne Gretzky's been kind enough to join us. Of course, now works a lot for TNT, was the vice chair of the Oilers Entertainment Group. Wayne, your thoughts in the first period, first of all?
Well, I want you to know, first of all, I just was sitting in Mr. Cates' suite, and a lady came over and said, Ariana Grande wants to come over and say hello and get a picture. And I said, no, I got to go up and see Bob Stauffer. So I want you to know you got precedence over her. But you know what? I think Edmonton's played well 4 periods. Tonight, they're initiating a little bit more, being much more aggressive. The friendliness that was in Game 1 is sort of gone. I like their aggressiveness. I really liked how they played in Game 1. I thought they were unfortunate. 3 breakaways. I just really believe that They're a little bit faster. Florida's a really good hockey club, and they play with a lot of intensity, but Oilers have to keep their speed, and if they keep their speed, I think this is going to be a long 6-7 game series. It's great hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, Sergei Bobrovsky played great in game number one. Florida kind of took over the back half of that game. Edmonton got an opportunity to an odd man break Matthias Eckholm. Is there any way to sort of underscore the importance of his addition for the Edmonton Oilers? Jumps up and has the presence of mind to put it to the net.
Well, listen, when you build a hockey club, you have to have all the right pieces, right? And Kenny Holland held out for Eckholm. When he made that deal, he gave up a really good leader in Tyson Barrie, the best power play maybe in hockey ever at that point in time. And it's hard to move a guy like that who's invaluable, but they needed something on the back end that was a little bit more physical, a little bit bigger. Eckholm has brought that. Bouchard has become a better, I think, player because of Eckholm. His intensity rubs off on everyone. I can't say enough good things. He gets the first goal, and hopefully that opens the floodgates a little bit. But this is going to be a long, tough series. They're both good hockey clubs. And, you know, I'm sitting with Brian Leach down there, and we're just so impressed about how well coached these teams are in this day and age. How structured both teams are, and yet how hard they're playing. And that's why they're in the Stanley Cup final. They deserve to be here.
We're joined by Wayne Gretzky, Bob Stauffer with you. End of the roll, first intermission. Reed Wilkins and Rob Brown coming up. Wayne, the Oilers made a coaching changes here. It wasn't just Chris Knobloch, but also Paul Coffey.
Yeah.
And he brings some fire to that defense. But just your thought on, you know, Chris, the guy we would talk about back when you were traveling with us back in 16, 17, 17, 18. You've known about Chris for a while. He played for your brother Keith in the minors. Just that tandem coming in, Paul and Chris working together.
Listen, changes are always hard, right? And nobody anticipated the Oilers getting off to a 2-9-1 start. Here I was on TNT picking Edmonton to be in the Stanley Cup final, and I think Biz was laughing at me at one point. But, you know, they made the coaching change. Chris has come in. He's stabilized the team. Defensively, they're a lot better without taking anything away from their offense. And I think the surprising factor here has been Paul Coffey in a sense that he was probably the most offensive defenseman ever played the game other than Bobby Orr. And he's got his defense playing good, solid defense. And yet part of that is because of what he believes in, getting the puck, moving it quick, and getting it to the forwards and getting it out of your zone and not rimming it around the boards or shooting it off the glass. Make that play. You're going to make mistakes, but he's put confidence in his defense. And as you know the stats better than I do. Over the last 45 games, they were as good defensively as any team in the league. Not only Paul, but the whole coaching staff deserves credit. And I will say one more thing. 4 years ago, I was talking to my brother, who I'm very proud of and huge part of the Oiler organization. He told me 4 years ago that this Skinner kid is going to one day win the Edmonton Oilers Stanley Cup. And I was like, oh, really? And he goes, he's that good. He's the best player in the American League. Give him some time. He's an Edmonton boy. He's going to be phenomenal. And I'm so proud of him. I'm so happy for Skinner. It's not easy being a goalie. And it's even tougher to be a homegrown goalie. And Grant Fuhr lived up to it, and now he's living up to it. Good for him.
And speaking of home, we're here in Florida, Wayne, in large part because of you. You started the movement to the Sunbelt markets when you got sold to the LA Kings. But we're back in Edmonton. You mentioned Mr. Cates. You obviously stepped up and helped build a state-of-the-art arena. It's going to be awesome for the Stanley Cup final back at Edmonton coming up.
You know what? We said it on TNT. The first game we were getting Dallas in Game 3, and I said the people in the United States who have never seen a game in Edmonton on TV, it's so special and so unique. You know, the fans, they live and die the game. They love it. They cherish it. They're proud of it. They're proud of our history and our heritage in not only Edmonton but in Canada. I'm so happy for the city. You know, you guys went through a lot of tough years, and a lot of fans hung in there. And more importantly, the organization and Daryl and Renee Cates, they hung in there. And look, I know the feeling that the city's having. It's got to be so exciting right now. And listen, they got Mark Messier going up there to do TV for ESPN. There can't be anything better than that. So good for them.
Wayne, the only thing that was better was having you during our first intermission. Thank you for being kind enough.
My pleasure, and I wish you guys all the best of luck.
There you go. Wayne Gretzky, say no more. We'll head it off to Reed Wilkins and Rob Brown. They'll have the rest of our end of the roll first intermission.
MIC is a leader in medical imaging and the official medical imaging provider to the Edmonton Oilers. Make MIC your choice. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, the game doesn't stop for injury. MIC's sports medicine imaging specialists can help you get back in the game with a timely and expert diagnosis. Go where the pros go. For a location near you, visit mic.ca.
Look, I know this is radio, so it's hard to show you how much is on sale during the Big One clearance event at End of the Row Flooring Centers, but it's a lot. Like this flooring, or this one, and all these. Yep, all at clearance pricing for a limited time. Now, you don't need to just imagine what it would look like, though. You can use our visualizer at endoftheroll.com to upload a picture of your room to see the flooring in your actual home. Try it. Find something you love, then get a great deal on it at the Big One clearance event on now at End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
When you play the largest 50-50 in sports, everybody wins. Your support makes all of oil country a better place. A place of kindness, caring, and compassion. Uplifting those in need, changing lives forever. The largest 50-50 pot in professional sports is currently growing by the second. Get your tickets now at EdmontonOilers.com and help change lives today. Maybe even your own.
AGLC license number 645766.
This is Global News at the first intermission. I'm Rod Kurtz. Police investigating two separate pedestrian fatalities. The first claimed the life of a 47-year-old man late last night near 120th Street and 113th Avenue. Police say the driver was not impaired and they're hoping some witnesses will come forward. The second occurred this morning not far away, 124th Street and 112th Avenue. A 58-year-old man was killed. The 74-year-old driver remained on the scene and police say charges are pending. Lethbridge West NDP MLA Shannon Phillips stepping down before finishing her third term in office, in part because she says political life has become too toxic. She says increasing political polarization, disinformation, public abuse, and her being surveilled by local police led to her decision. She says she's stepping aside now to ensure the party and her local riding association are well positioned to keep her riding orange. I'm Rod Kurtz, your next scheduled newscast during the second intermission on 6:30 CHED.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
And I'm Zach Hyman.
And when we're not making juicy sweet passes
or having my goals disallowed,
we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You know, guys used to call me a plumber.
And now they call you an AC repairman.
Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Did you know that there are 9 Napa Auto Parts stores serving the greater Edmonton area and have been doing so for more than 50 years? Since Napa first opened in Edmonton, the community has grown and vehicles have changed, but you can always trust Napa Auto Parts to provide you with the expert know-how and the best vehicle parts. And if that isn't enough, every time you visit a Napa Auto Parts store when you present your AMA card, you receive an additional 10% discount on all retail parts and accessories. Visit your local Napa Auto Parts store for more offers and expert know-how. Napa Auto Parts is a proud fan of the Edmonton Oilers.
Going back to school can be as scary as taking the winning shot, but it doesn't have to be. Score a great future with Northern Lakes College and supported distance learning. NLC knows that students need attention, support, and the synergy between instructors and peers to keep motivated and connected. They are here to help you meet all your goals and cheer you on. Because at Northern Lakes College, they count their success one student at a time. northernlakescollege.ca.
The intermission, brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
McDavid hits Eckholm, and all of a sudden, maybe a 3-on-1. Eckholm in over the line with Draisaitl. Eckholm shoots, scores through Bobrovsky, and trickles home. And Edmonton on its first shot of the game.
The Viking gets the Oilers on the board, playing 4-on-4 hockey. Eckholm beats Bobrovsky between the legs on a 2-on-1. That's the highlight zone for Century Casinos. All in, all games, all season. Century Casinos, 3 great locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton International Airport. Welcome to the winner's zone. Yeah, it was all going Florida's way, Rob. They had a 6-0 advantage shots on goal. And they got a 5-minute power play because Fogle was sent off for kneeing. Janmark draws the penalty. Eckholm scores 4-on-4. The Oilers killed off the tail end of that, so they actually get credit for 2 on the PK. So now it's 32 in a row. They will be shorthanded to start the third or start the second. I'll ask you this first. obvious penalty to me on Fogle. Was it a major?
It was when the player laid down and was hurt. I mean, to me, as you know, whenever a penalty happens, I say, okay, let's flip-flop. What if that's McDavid? Coming through the middle, someone sticks his knee out, he's laying on the ice, breathing in pain. Your first thing you're thinking, that's 5 minutes for sure. Kick him out of the game. So the fact that the guy was hurt, the ref came over and looked at him, I think that factored into the fact that it was a 5-minute major, and I had no problem with the call.
All right, and then, I mean, what can you say about Janmark, Rob? I mean, killing the penalty and draws a penalty to make it 4-on-4.
He's been excellent, and it's funny. We've talked for most of the year, but especially in the playoffs when there's players coming in and out of the lineup, and the one player we talked about that would never come out, and that is Mattias Janmark, just because the importance he is to this team. Whether it's 9 minutes of ice time or 13 minutes of ice time, he plays with a tenacity. He's got more speed than you would expect. He plays with grit, and his penalty killing is excellent. So, I mean, you give him credit on the goal that the Oilers scored by Eckholm. That was created by Janmark forcing a turnover, driving through the middle of the ice, and having Florida have to take him down. That gets you 4-4 out there, and I love the Oilers' 4-4 chances. And so, yeah, Janmark's been excellent, and just a continuation of what we've seen. And we know if you're going to win a Stanley Cup, it's not always on the back of your all-stars. There's going to be other players that step up, and Janmark's been excellent through the entire playoffs.
And then the Eckholm goal, it's a 2-on-1 with Draisaitl on his off wing. I don't know what you were thinking Eckholm was going to do, Rob, but I wouldn't have had score 5-hole high on the list.
Well, but I like the aggressiveness. The Oilers had one shot, two shots at that point, or had they even had a shot?
That was the first shot of the game, yeah.
Yeah, so first shot. Why force a pass? I mean, I love Eckholm as a player, but he's not Leon. So there's no guarantee that the pass going across is going to end up on the stick. I think you got Bobrovsky back there. He knows who's coming down. He says, okay, there's the goal scorer on that side. I've got to be ready to kick and move that way. So to me, Eckholm, smart play. And I've been telling you since you and I have started doing these games together, my favorite shot on those is 5-hole. I love a 5-hole shot. People say, well, it can't go in 5-hole. No. That is a great shot. If you hit your spot and beat the goalie, wonderful place to put the puck. And Eckholm buries it. And you're right. The Florida Panthers were the better team in the first 20 minutes. But it's like almost flipped the script from last game. This time it was Stuart Skinner that was excellent. And the Oilers very fortunate. There were two wide open nets that the Florida Panthers missed. And you need to be lucky. You need to get breaks. And the Oilers had some breaks in the first 20 and now have got themselves set up for a final 40 to try and even this series.
So Fogle's been kicked out. We'll see how Nurse is. He left after a hit and then came back, but then left again. Same deal with Ekblad. McDavid fell on his ankle. LaRosa-Ryan, I believe, came back after the knee, but we'll see how he does. And Florida's on a power play for 1:13 to start the second period. The scoreboard for Pizza 73, official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. Brewers lead the Blue Jays 2-1 in the bottom of the fifth. Oilers lead the Panthers 1-0 heading to the second period with Jack and Bob. You're listening to Fort Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
At the intermission has been brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Chemco is building industry across Canada, and now they're on the lookout for civil and electrical project managers, estimators, and superintendents to join their dedicated team. Why Chemco? Because Chemco cares. They put people first, offering top-tier compensation packages and an unwavering commitment to safety. At Chemco, safety isn't just a priority. It's everybody's business. Ready to be part of a team that truly values you? Visit chemco.com/careers today.
McDavid trying to come in with speed. Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores!
Hey, Edmonton. Rogers wants you to stay connected to your Edmonton Oilers.
Connor McDavid! Fantastic!
Catch every goal on Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network with Rogers 5G mobile plans. To learn more, visit rogers.com/5G. That's rogers.com/5G.
Proudly headquartered in Edmonton, Capital Power is powering change by changing power. Be part of the energy and join Capital Power in cheering on our Edmonton Oilers.
from Ice District and across oil country as they chase another championship banner. Visit capitalpower.com to learn about how they're delivering reliable and affordable power for communities today and creating innovative solutions for a clean electricity future.
1-0 hockey game as we set you up for the start of the second period. The Oilers will be on the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill, where they have been as comfortable as any other situation in the National Hockey League that you could possibly have. I mean, the Oilers have been nothing short of brilliant over their last now 11-plus games. Florida will get a minute 14 of power play time to start the second period, having outshot Edmonton 9-4 in period number 1. But Matthias Eckholm for the Oilers scoring on their first shot of the game, which is exactly what Carter Verhaeghe did for Florida in the opener. Drop of the puck, and period 2 of game 2 is underway, and the Panthers have puck possession. Darnell Nurse back on the Edmonton bench. Eckholm and Desharnais with Nugent Hopkins starting this penalty kill alongside Adam Henrique, and a clear for the Oilers up the right-hand side.
He tested it. He just went back underneath, Jack, with TD Force.
So maybe not quite ready to go. The Panthers guilty of an icing call up the right-hand side. And what we've seen in this first 24 seconds of the second period is what we've seen now for almost a month. And that what it is the Edmonton penalty kill effectively choking the life out of the opposition. I mean, Florida's not only not scoring, but losing momentum big time on this power play.
Well, they've had close to 4 minutes of power play time in this game. Basically had the 3 minutes on the 5-minute power play, and now another minute 15 seconds here.
Off the draw, Panthers from their own end. Sam Reinhart whips it in around the boards, and the Oilers able to come up with it. And this was a Panther power play well in excess of 25%. And now another penalty drawn by Edmonton with the Florida Panthers on the power play. It's going to be a hooking call, and it's Matthew Tkachuk going to the box. So not only does Edmonton wipe out another power play, but the Oilers will be poised to go on a power play of their own here in 33 seconds, already leading game 2, 1-0. And the other thing that penalty kill has done, Bob, is effectively take the 19,500 plus here at Amerant Bank Arena completely out of the game.
Well, it's going to be interesting here. Bouchard's in the box right now. The Oilers have got Kulak and Broberg out there together. 4-on-4 action. And then the Oilers will get their second power play of the game.
Draisaitl, McDavid, Kulak, Broberg, and a face-off won by Draisaitl. Broberg will send it down low. Yeah, effectively, the Oilers are looking at a bit of a power play formation right here. 4-on-4, and it paid off for them when Eckholm scored off the rush off a late developing 3-on-1 back in the first period. Sam Bennett stick handling his way up the center. Then he'll toss right-hand side for Aaron Ekblad. He shook off an earlier injury. Rodriguez fell. A shot by Bennett left circle and a save made. Bennett well tracked by Broberg, and Skinner, given a clean look, makes a routine stop with a minute 9 gone by in the second period. Having said that, Skinner, especially early, allowed Edmonton to work itself into the game, because I think you'd agree, Bob, the Oilers awfully sluggish for much of the first 10-11 minutes of tonight's game 2.
Didn't have a shot on goal until Eckholm scored.
I guess that's sluggish. Face off right side of Skinner. Now Draisaitl wins the draw. Broberg and Kulak may be prepared to come off here as Edmonton set to go on a power play. Kulak will bump it in, and Broberg comes off. Kulak stays on. Bouchard is on the ice, and now Kulak will come off, and the Oilers get their full complement of Atco Energy power play players out there. Hyman replacing Kulak. A handoff by Bouchard to McDavid. Busting through the middle of the ice and dishing off to Nugent Hopkins left circle. Guided back to Bouchard. Panthers have been good on the kill as well. Here's Nugent Hopkins dishing off. One-timer Draisaitl. That was partially blocked by Barkov. Panthers have killed off 36 of the last 38. Barkov to Forsling. Is able to elude Zach Hyman. Drop it to Ekblad for the length of the ice clear. 2 minutes gone by, second period. And the Atco power play, 40 seconds and running as Bouchard clambers back into his own zone. Oilers right to left. A drop-off to the on-rushing McDavid. Double-teamed as he pivots to the left-hand side. Kicks it out to Bouchard. Move quickly. Bouchard calling for it. One-timer blocked. A painful block made by Stanley, but an effective one, and a clear up the left-hand glass and out by Nico Mikkola. Stenlund, short-handed, will try to kill off some more time. He won a battle. Centered pass one-timer, and that was rifled wide. What a point-blank look for Sam Bennett. And he just got a little aggressive and fired that wide. He got a little too happy with that opportunity. A point-blank look from about 15 feet. Oilers turn and clear. Evander Kane back to center. But that'll be all, and Edmonton squanders a power play opportunity of its own. Sam Bennett into the zone, busting to the net with a backhander, deflected wide. Rebound Rodriguez out to forcing a drive, and that went off the skate of Ryan McLeod and sailed out of play with 3 minutes having elapsed. In this second period, the Panthers almost getting a shorthanded goal, but Sam Bennett, set up by Stenlund, missed point blank on Stuart Skinner.
Darnell Nurse is sitting at the end of the bench, but it almost looks like he's the gate opener right now.
Like Kane was in Game 6 against Dallas.
Yeah, this has me concerned. Obviously, now he's only playing 20 minutes a game in the playoffs. Think of where we were a couple of years ago.
When he was routinely above 25, and in, big games, Bob, he was often a guy like a Miro Heiskanen who was playing 30. Off the draw, Brandon Martour, and that's driven by Tarasenko on net, and a save made by Stuart Skinner. But, of course, that has everything to do with the trade deadline acquisition made last March when Matthias Eckholm came over and immediately settled in alongside Evan Bouchard, who then was elevated up with Tyson Barrie's departure. And that almost immediately, Bob, it seemed like there was a seismic shift, and that became Edmonton's top pair.
Well, Broberg's going to play a lot of minutes. They do have, between Broberg and Desharnais, obviously a righty. Only two righties tonight, no Nurse.
McLeod off the face-off, lost the handle, belted by Montour, had it blocked up top by Evander Kane. Put it down low in the corner. Panthers come away with it. It's Tarasenko out to the point, a shot that's scooped up by Stuart Skinner off the tape of Oliver Ekman-Larsson. 12 saves for Skinner tonight, and on a night where Edmonton has been outshot 12-4, the Oilers still lead Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final, 1-0.
Well, Edmonton did not put any pucks to the net when they had the power play. They went for the perfect setup for Draisaitl. Nugent Hopkins had a look right down Main Street and elected to slide it across to Leon.
I thought the same held true with their first period power play, Bob.
Yeah, and we've talked about, and I know the players said the ice was better than they expected it to be here, but their power play's been a little different in the road early in series than it has as the series has gone on.
Oilers closed out the Dallas series by going 4 for 5. Off the draw, the left-hand side. Janmark sent it behind the Florida net. Taking a peek is Bobrovsky up the left-hand boards, settled, and was that an offside against Edmonton? It was. As poised with the puck was Sam Carrick. That'll be whistled down. 16:27 remaining in the second period. The Oilers looking to bounce back after a Game 1 loss, and they've won 5 of the 6 under that scenario in the last 3 playoff campaigns. The only exception was Game 2 against Colorado, where they were shut out 4-0 in Denver on their way to an eventual 4-game sweep at the hands of the eventual league champions.
Jack, just a minor point here. We talked about the fact that we thought Tkachuk embellished the call against Evan Bouchard.
Yes.
First chance they could give to Tkachuk on a reach infraction, they nailed him for it on that penalty. So, you don't, if you're Matthew Tkachuk and you do draw a lot of calls, sometimes it works. I mean, he's a great player, and he's on the ice right now.
Had a quiet series thus far. Evan Rodriguez lining up. And a face-off cleanly won by Leon Draisaitl. Kulak put a lot of air under that. That's going to be an icing call. And Mikkola got back to draw the whistle ahead of Dylan Holloway. So face-off comes back into the Oilers zone. 16:21 left in the second period. Bob and I will have Game 3 for you live from Edmonton and Rogers Place, which will, of course, be sold out and ultra loud Thursday night. And that's a 6:20 Mountain Time puck drop. Same holds true for Saturday's Game 4. Face-off to Skinner's right-hand side. Sam Bennett against Leon Draisaitl. Bennett missing a golden opportunity earlier in this period. Won the face-off, but Montour could not get it through Adam Henrique. And he'll come back, track the puck, send it over to Nico Mikkola. Whipped rink wide. Good read by Kulak to disrupt. Draisaitl just out of the reach of Dylan Holloway. And ambling over to make a play on it was Mikkola. Got wrapped up with Holloway. Behind the net, Evan Rodriguez looks up ice. And the Panthers will break out left to right. Rodriguez left the puck behind. Draisaitl grappling with Bennett. Pitchfork back the other way by Kulak. Served up once more by Mikkola. And punched forward by Matthew Tkachuk. Wrapped up, Vinny Desharnais behind the net. Sam Bennett kept it alive for Aaron Ekblad, slithering down the wall. Checked by Connor McDavid. Back-to-back first overall picks there. Ekblad first in 2014, McDavid a year later. And, of course, he was selected in Sunrise. A steal by Forsling on a McDavid read left wing. And Ekblad comes back the other way for the Panthers. Top of the right circle. Wrist shot on net. Easy save Skinner. Rebound Barkov. Behind the net. Resetting is Sam Reinhart. Angled off the boards. Gustav Forsling. High slot for Hagee. A shot. Glove save Skinner. He's been perfect on 14 shots thus far. 5 minutes gone by in this second period. Edmonton with a 1-0 lead in game 2. Matthias Eckholm in a 4-on-4 situation off the rush. Sent one through the pads of Bobrovsky.
Nurse keeps testing, see if he's got his full explosiveness out there, but has not come back on the ice here in the second period since he left the game.
Just took another twirl.
Yep.
As you said that, Bob. Face off to Skinner's right. Anton Lundell in against Sam Carrick. Face off to the right of the Edmonton goal. Lundell wins the draw. Poked back to Ekman-Larsson. He'll send it to the opposite corner. Taken off the boards behind the net by Matthias Eckholm and sent safely up to Matthias Janmark. He has the puck right at the red. Clogged up with Kulikov. Sent the other way by Eckholm, but too much on it. And it's icing against the Oilers. And a faceoff will come back into the Edmonton zone.
Well, right now, Edmonton isn't getting anything going at all.
But the Oilers lead the game against the guy in Sergei Bobrovsky, who coming in had given up just 5 goals in his last 4 starts, all victories. The 3 to close out the Rangers with Florida down 2 games to 1. Of course, the Oilers faced the same scenario against Dallas, and then Stuart Skinner was terrific. Gave up only 2 goals the other night, but
Reinhart waved out here. He's a right shot, so Barkov's a lefty against Carrick, a righty. Carrick's at 52% in the faceoffs. He needs to win this draw.
After the icing call. Panthers trying to get a matchup here. Carrick against Barkov. Carrick won it. Skinner will spoon it into the corner. Connor Brown forced free for Evan Bouchard, and now the Oilers, Sam Carrick, regrouping back behind his own net. Eckholm calling for the puck, and Carrick gives it to him. They'll fire it to the opposite corner. Connor Brown driving in. First on the puck is Dmitry Kulikov for Florida. Ekman-Larsson spun it ahead for Reinhart. Panthers 2-on-2. Barkov down the middle. Shot tried to surprise Skinner and missed high glove. Rebound came off the end boards. I think he did surprise Skinner with that quick release. Sasha Barkov, still a guy who could fill the net. 23 goals, 80 points this year. Brown unable to nudge it outside the zone. Barkov pursues against Eckholm, who clears safely up to center. Batted down by Brandon Montour, and the Oilers regrouping.
Edmonton needs a change here.
And they get one. Eckholm waits for that change. Sends it over to Evan Bouchard. McDavid on the ice with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Hyman barreling in left-hand side. Pulls up in the corner. Leads the Stanley Cup playoffs with 14 goals. Snapped a wrist shot wide, short side. McDavid to Kulak. Up high, a save made by Bobrovsky. Rebound, Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Tapped it back. Kulak drove it against the end boards. Bobrovsky put it back behind the net. Hyman a hard hit on Lundell. And the Oilers will try to get the forecheck going. Peeled out by McDavid in front. And broken up at the last instant by Mikkola. That was some steal by McDavid. But Mikkola was able to get there with support. Luo Sturinen, who was hobbled in the first period on the knee major that sent Fogle out of the game. Lost the handle. McDavid will chip and charge in against Bobrovsky. Played tightly by Ekblad, and it squeezed off McDavid's stick and then fired back to center by Lundell. Picked off by Vinny Desharnais, who's been steady as she goes tonight for Edmonton. Tarasenko in his own end. A clear by Lundell, and Eventually wristed down deep by Luostarinen. 12:40 remaining second period. 1-0 Edmonton in game 2. Here's Leon Draisaitl sliding it to the side of the Florida net. Kulikov up the left-hand side, and the Panthers will pick it up. Set up ice by Lawrence. Dashing in is Kyle Opozo. Skinner first on it. Stanley takes over right corner. Could not get through Eckholm. Crowded by Vinny Desharnais. And Edmonton just utilizing the 5 defensemen. So you'll see different pairings out there with Nurse's absence. Kulikov lifting off the left-hand glass. Too much on it. This is an obvious icing. And the whistle goes with 12:08 to go in the second period. Edmonton being outshot tonight. 14-5. Nearly half a hockey game has elapsed, and Edmonton's got 5 shots on net. But the Oilers also have a 1-0 lead in game 2.
I was a little surprised. Edmonton was trying to complete a line change there. I thought the linesman might let that play go, but they elected to call the icing. And now a fourth-line matchup for Florida against the Oilers' top line.
McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman. We saw this at the other end, but Carrick won a draw for the Oilers, and they were able to get it changed. Now McDavid against Stenlund, who won the face-off for Florida. So the same goes for the Panthers. Ekman-Larsson over to Steven Lawrence. He'll turn and launch back to center. So the Panthers able to do what Edmonton did. Long change here in the second period. Florida unable to shuffle the deck personnel-wise. McDavid smartly chips to the near corner. Ekman-Larsson first on the puck. This is Florida's 4th line and 3rd D pairing. But Opozo comes over, makes the smart play on Hyman, and clears back to center. Broberg will jump up and dump it back behind the Florida defense. Ekman-Larsson first on it for the Panthers. Stenlund up the left-hand side. Lawrence did not get it out. Stenlund is able to collapse against McDavid along the end boards. Panthers with the puck, nudged by Kulikov, right side of Pozo. Another chance to clear, couldn't get it done. Here's Broberg serving it up for McDavid. Now Bouchard, left circle, moves to the middle, drop pass. Here's McDavid. This is a tired Florida 4th line. McDavid running him ragged, shooting, and that was blocked out of play. Oh no, it did not get out of play. Hit the top of the plexi by Kulikov, and the Panthers can't clear again. Broberg to the middle of the ice, and finally flipped up to Stenlund, and he'll hoist it down. This is going to be icing. Stenlund did not need to do that. I don't know what he was possibly thinking. He needed to take one more stride, hit the red line, and no problem. But he didn't. He iced the puck a stride away from the red, and now the Panthers have still the same 5 guys out there as they look to defend now against Leon Draisaitl, Adam Henrique, and Evander Kane. And Stenlund knows better. He's a 6-year guy. Stenlund against Henrique. Redeems himself with a face-off win. Ekman-Larsson lobbing it through the middle of the ice. Now the Panthers will get a change. It's a long change, though, and the Oilers trying to catch the Panthers in it, but Draisaitl and Henrique are offside, and the play dies with 10:40 to go in the second period. And quite frankly, Bob, this isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're an Oiler fan. It's been a little mucked up this period. 10:40 to go, second period. Edmonton has been dogged. Just 1 shot in the second period as compared to 5 for the Panthers. But Stuart Skinner and the Oilers maintaining a 1-0 lead in Game 2 of this Stanley Cup Final. Now Leon Draisaitl going underneath. Apparently some equipment issues. We'll be right back to Amerant Bank Arena with more live coverage. The Oilers Radio Network.
Honey, I overloaded the washing machine and there's a mini waterfall pouring through the basement roof.
We'll fix it. Don't worry, babe.
And I might have horribly shrunk your lucky jersey.
Ow!
Life happens. Access Insurance can help. The Save of the Game is brought to you by Access Insurance. When Albertans need it most, they know they can count on the Access Insurance team for a huge save. It's easy to switch and save. Check out their Google reviews.
Visit accessinsurancegroup.com.
Athletes know that to advance your career, you've got to be part of a winning team. So, what about you? Are you working for a winning team? Well, here's your chance to do just that. Brandt is a strong and stable industry leader with career opportunities across Canada. We have hundreds of positions available right now, from parts, sales, positioning technology, heavy-duty mechanics, and more. Be a part of a winning team. Earn your stripes by joining Brandt today. Find out more at BrandtJobs.com.
Hey parents, do you work in downtown Edmonton? Childcare is hard to find, but at Kepler Academy, inside Sun Life Place, we still have some space for children 12 months to 6 years old. Located at 101 23 Hull Street, Kepler Academy Sun Life Place is an award-winning early learning and childcare provider, voted Edmonton's top choice for 4 years in a row. Visit KeplerAcademy.ca. Mention this ad and your registration fees will be waived.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Oilers 50-50 playoff edition. More than $3 million right now is that jackpot, and still climbing with alacrity. You've got about 20 minutes left to get in on early bird prizing tonight, which is $10,000 cash. Again, supporting Albertans battling cancer, kids with critical illness, animal shelters, food security, military personnel, all part of the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation. Off the neutral zone draw, puck thrown on net. Bobrovsky angles to the corner. Lundell, drop pass, one-timer, score! And this game is tied. Mikkola from the top of the left circle, and the Panthers have equalized matters in game 2. 1-1. Mikkola's second career Stanley Cup playoff goal in 42 games.
Did he not score against the Oilers during the regular season?
He did. Mikkola from Lundell. Time 9:34.
Slow developing play and defenseman jumping in. And Connor Brown. Now they just activated 2 guys there. It was a 4-on-3.
Beats Skinner, glove side. And we are tied at 1. Off the draw, Evan Rodriguez. In over the line, right side. Punched it toward the middle. Panthers follow up. Kachuk off balance. Oilers look to clear. Janmark fires a dart up to Dylan Holloway. Tried to give it back to Janmark. That was picked off and cleared by Brandon Montour. So the Panthers work hard and eventually tie this game. And Edmonton, Bob, no shots in the first 11 minutes of the first period. One shot in the first 10 minutes of the second period. Wristed down deep by Sam Bennett. That's putting a lot of your eggs in the team defense basket. One-timer ripped by Forsling. Redirected just wide. Long-footed Skinner, but stayed out. Rebound Sam Reinhart. He'll put it around the boards. Bouchard will pounce on it for the Oilers and get a clear from Dylan Holloway. Janmark bumped into, jumping up on the play is Matthias Eckholm, and he'll eventually send it off the side of the net. Lundell and Tarasenko given credit for the helpers on Nico Mikkola's second of this postseason as well. Both his Stanley Cup playoff goals coming in this postseason. Puck takes a big hop behind the Oiler net off a dump in, and that ends up out of play over the plexiglass with 9:08 to go in the second period. We'll take a timeout from Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. Intermittent clouds and patchy rain today. Inside, a lot on the line as Edmonton looks to get a split and go home. It's 1-1 in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Oilers Radio Network.
There's only one line of trucks that's outsold all others for 58 years. Only one with the available Power Boost hybrid engine on select models that delivers performance and efficiency. It's the truck that all others are measured by. You know the one. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Right now, lease the 2024 F-150 STX with black appearance package at 2.49% APR for up to 24 months with $4,800 down. That's just $228 bi-weekly. Visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 955, is one of Alberta's largest and most diverse union locals in the province. Members work in everything from construction and maintenance to pipelines, renewables, healthcare, education, municipalities, and more. They are a big part of Alberta's past and will be a big part of Alberta's future. Apprenticeship, jobs, pension. That's IUOE Local 955. Visit joinustoday.ca to learn more, and let's go Oilers.
The Brick and the Edmonton Oilers both started right here in Edmonton back in the 70s. And we know nothing is more exciting than playoff hockey. We're next to you in the stands, painted blue and orange, cheering our hearts out. And when we're not there, we're in our stores, making sure you have everything you need to cheer them on in your home. We're proud of this city and its rich sports history. The Brick, supporting the Edmonton Oilers and fans right from the beginning. Let's go, Oilers.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Face-off coming to Skinner's right-hand side. Alexander Barkov will take it against Sam Carrick.
First line against fourth line here, Jack. Lots of trust from Chris Knobloch in this group.
Carrick won a face-off the last time in this situation. Edmonton has been outshot tonight 16-5. 5 shots in 31 minutes for the Edmonton Oilers. Off the draw, Broberg put it behind the net for Brett Kulak, rammed up the left-hand side and out. So the fourth line does get a clear. Ekman-Larsson sees it spilled in by Verhaeghe. Wide of Skinner. He'll leave it. Kulak tries the left-hand boards. Barkov got popped by Kulak, slow to rise, then sets a screen for Verhaeghe, and now the Panthers back on the cycle. Sam Reinhart, 57 goals during the regular season. He's had 8 in back-to-back postseasons coming in. To Barkov, around the boards, maybe too hard from the captain. Kulikov desperately held it in. Good zone keep by him, and now you've got Verhaeghe heading behind the net. Florida's top line trying to grind down Edmonton's fourth line here, but it's Sam Carrick with some good work on Verhaeghe. Shoves him to the ice and allows Broberg to easily skate this puck up through center. Though he turned it over, Ekman-Larsson snapped ahead for Rodriguez. Edmonton got a change. Here's Matthew Tkachuk darting to the middle, shooting, and a save made by Stuart Skinner. Rebound, dishing off. Montour looks for lane, redirected wide. Tkachuk had an open net with Skinner down and out and could not brush that puck home. Panthers miss taking the first lead by an eyelash. Tkachuk from the left-hand side, a wrist shot from a sharp angle, easy save for Skinner. Rebound, Leon Draisaitl, and now Holloway. Draisaitl takes it hard against Mikkola, pulls up, looks for a trailer. Out to the point, a shot and a save made against Vinny Desharnais. Rebound rolls into the corner, picked up and eventually tossed up ice by Sam Bennett. Tkachuk with 2 real good chances. He's had a quiet final thus far. Draisaitl off to Holloway. Had his pocket picked by Luos Torino, who gave it right back. Darnell Nurse is back on the ice.
He's off
for the
right away.
Edmonton Oilers.
He's off right away.
Comes off with Vinny Desharnais. Nurse continues to check. Here's Eckholm. Up the middle of the ice, it's scooped in by Zach Hyman. Forsland checked hard by Hyman, and a good finishing hit by Nugent-Hopkins. McDavid in the net. Hyman trying to jam it home, but Bobrovsky was there. Bouchard off the skate of McDavid, and it was slipped back to center by the Panthers. Eckholm trading the puck with Bouchard back inside his own blue line. Mishandled by Hyman. Luos Torino in over the line. Lundell. He's got a wide open Tarasenko, but couldn't get it to him. Eckholm had him tied up. Tarasenko was wide open in front of Skinner. Now a penalty coming. Stepping in, and it's Carter Verhaeghe. The Oilers on a delayed power play. McDavid to Bouchard, walking the line. Open man is Draisaitl. This is a delayed penalty, so 6-on-5 for the Oilers. McDavid will give it up for Bouchard in the high slot. McDavid left circle. Centering pass broken up, and with 6:05 to go in the second period, the Oilers in a game where they've been outshot 18-6 will get their 3rd power play of the night and look to cash in for the first time in 6 tries in this Stanley Cup final against Florida's penalty killers, which are 37 for their last 39.
Oh, McDavid was trying to get going up the middle of the ice, and he got cleaved on the play by Carter Verhaeghe. Fans don't like it. Jack, it's this simple for Edmonton. They got to get pucks to the net on the power play. Not enough pucks to the net. Skates click there. That's a penalty all day. A lot of debate on press row on that 5-minute major penalty to Warren Fogle. A lot of people think 2-minute all day. Tough call on him. Get a 5-minute major. Nurse took about a 12-second shift and then went straight back to the bench.
He has not left the bench, but he remains glued on it right now and will do so throughout the extent of this Atco power play. The Oilers a slow start against the Panthers, but now in position to take the lead. Stanley wins the draw from Draisaitl, hammered up the left-hand boards, but held in by Bouchard. His shot disrupted by Ekblad, who then backhanded it up the middle of the ice. Stanley eventually fired it out of play. Was he inside his own blue line? The Oilers want delay of game here. Stanley was very close to the blue line, and he might have been just out. The Oilers are screaming that this should be delay of game, and now we're going to have a full-scale conference. And Stanley has had trouble making puck plays. This puck was right on the blue line as he fired it out of play.
I don't think that's going to be a penalty. I don't think it is either.
It's not inside. That is close. That is about as close as it gets.
Don't think it's going to be a penalty.
I mean, if it is, this is how seismic this is. 5-on-3 for a full minute 46. You're basically looking at a certain goal. And no penalty. That was very, very tight. Oilers screaming that should have been a two-man advantage. Very close. His last contact with the puck is actually outside of the blue line. The last contact with the puck. First on his stick, right about as he approached the blue. Face-off win for Sasha Barkov, and he got popped in the mouth with the puck right off the draw. He'll shake that one off, and the Panthers get a length of the ice clear. Still a minute 35 in the Atco power play. Draisaitl will drop it off. Zach Hyman working his way in right-hand side. Draisaitl, Devin Bouchard. Now Draisaitl loading up right circle. Bouchard calling for it. One-timer! And that ends up into the protective netting to the right of Sergei Bobrovsky. 5:23 to go in the second period. One thing we should note, Bob, is how quiet it gets in this building during lulls in play when the Panthers aren't on the attack and the Oilers are kind of setting it up. I mean, I feel like you and I could be reading Edgar Allan Poe and not be disturbed. I'll explain who that is later. Off the face-off.
The Raven.
I knew you knew about it. Here's McDavid. Draisaitl gets it back from Bouchard. Quoth the Raven. Here's Nugent-Hopkins waiting. Bouchard back to Nugent-Hopkins. One-timer, sharp angle, and Bobrovsky somehow maneuvered his way back into a point of sealing that far post. He might have thrown his back out in the process. It was an awkward play by Bobrovsky, but one he knew he had to make because the jury's out. They know that Draisaitl can score from just about anywhere, and he was just above the goal line on that quick release from Nugent-Hopkins.
Well, they're not giving him a lot of shots, to say the least.
7th of the night for Edmonton. 5:03 to go in the second period. I mean,
they're not getting pucks through either from that boost bomb from the point.
That was deflected out of play on the last play. 35 minutes, 7 shots for the Oilers. Basically a shot every 5 minutes. It's a 1-1 tie in game 2. Oilers still 58 seconds on the power play. Lundell able to tie up Draisaitl. Chiseled free by Nugent-Hopkins off that draw. Now Draisaitl's open, but a blind pass to the middle was broken up, and the Panthers will break out shorthanded. Luostarinen will pop it in, and that's one, Bob, where Draisaitl probably doesn't need to make that play.
Take the time there.
Here's Bouchard. He wasn't under pressure. McDavid driving down the middle, cutting to his left, pulling up top of the circle, getting it back from Bouchard, loading up left face-off dot. Pressure from Kulikov. McDavid to Bouchard, back to McDavid, attacking the net. Here's Nugent-Hopkins, centering pass through Hyman, and went off a skate right to McDavid, right circle. Heavy pressure on Florida here. Nugent-Hopkins, left circle. Power play time, 10 seconds. Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, Nugent-Hopkins, Bouchard, Draisaitl, deep right corner, back to Bouchard, one-timer, redirected off Kulikov. Rebound McDavid, penalty is over. Nugent-Hopkins fires off the post, rebound, swing and a miss, Draisaitl. Bouchard a shot, that deflects, up on the glass. Panthers will bust out. Carter Verhaeghe with Bouchard back, as well as Kulak on his horse to the left-hand corner, allowing Florida to get a line change. Verhaeghe to then the Kachuk one-timer off Skinner, who at times tonight has been off balance. Now we've got a slash. And who's this one on? I think it's Florida again. Panthers are going to be right back to the box. Or no, it's Bouchard. And Bouchard's saying we had puck possession. But now Bouchard in the box, his second penalty of the game, and Florida, a third power play of the night. And the Panthers, like the Oilers moments ago, will try to take a lead here in Game 2. It would be their first lead of the night. 3:40 to go, period 2, Game 2. Florida 1, Edmonton 1. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey in the Stanley Cup Final. The Oilers Radio Network.
McDavid trying to come in with speed. Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores!
Hey, Rogers customers and hockey fans. Rogers wants you to win big this Stanley Cup playoffs.
Connor McDavid! Fantastic!
You could win a VIP trip to the Stanley Cup Final, plus hundreds of prizes, courtesy of Rogers Beyond the Sea. For your chance to win, visit rogers.com/Stanley Cup. That's rogers.com/Stanley Cup.
Hockey fans, with a spotless reputation, Scandinavian Building Services is responsible for keeping over 70 million square feet of space clean and safe every day. With over 65 years in the industry, no cleaning challenge is too big or too small. From national retailers and commercial spaces to small offices and entertainment centers like Rogers Place, let Scandinavian take the worry off your cleaning program. Visit Scandinavian.ca to learn more. Scandinavian Building Services. Our reputation is spotless.
From your home to the ice rink, ATCO Energy is there. As the official energy provider of Rogers Place, we're also proud partners of the Edmonton Oilers. ATCO Energy, powering your place. Customers are free to purchase natural gas services or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822.
You're listening to Oilers Hockey
on 630 CHED and on the Radio Player Canada app.
So now it's Florida's turn at a power play, looking to take the lead for the first time tonight. The Panthers' power play has done nothing against the Oilers' vaunted penalty kill, and off the draw, Edmonton wins another draw, and it's ripped down the ice by Vinny Desharnais. Nugent-Hopkins, Henrique, Desharnais, and Eckholm on the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill, working on 32 in a row. Panthers get it in deep, cleared again, this time by Eckholm, and Brandon Montour back in his own zone. Oilers quickly get a change. On the ice, Connor Brown and Matthias Janmark, who got a little off balance. Verhaeghe immediately checked, an aggressive play by Brown, and now he'll dart down the right-hand side. Montour back, short-handed. Brown mishandled the puck. Montour gives it away. Matthias Janmark hits Broberg a drive, and that sailed high and wide on Sergei Bobrovsky. Loose puck. Grabbed by Barkov. Florida just trying to maintain some momentum here. Their power play has been dreadful. Sam Reinhart checked at the line. Nice play by Kulak. Flipped down the ice by Nugent-Hopkins. Shots tonight, 19-7 Florida, but most of that inflicted 5-on-5 rather than 5-on-4. Nugent-Hopkins came over to belt Bennett. Puck squirted free to Evan Rodriguez, who skates into the zone, dishes off to the net. Wrist shot save made. Stuart Skinner on Vladimir Tarasenko with 39 seconds left in the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill and 2:19 remaining in the second period. Eckholm in the first for Edmonton. Nico Mikkola here in the second for Florida. So you've got a couple of defensemen on the board, and that's been all thus far in this second game of the Stanley Cup Final.
Important draw here for Sam Carrick. It's a right side draw. He's going to take it. McLeod's out as well. Second power play unit for Florida.
Eckholm and Desharnais. And a face-off win for Carrick. Desharnais up the boards. Tarasenko couldn't maintain. Worked down low to Rodriguez. Centering pass. Bennett denied. Skinner charging out to cut off the angle. And he was able to swallow that one up. Basically smother Bennett before he could get off a decent release.
Oilers with an overload on the far side of the ice, and they left Bennett all by himself. A little bit of an over-pursue there from Desharnais. Edmonton very lucky.
Bennett has had 2 point-blank looks in this period. Fired one wide, and that time Skinner, give him full marks, Bob, for coming out and kind of smothering that attempt. Oilers just 3 shots in the second period after 4 in the first. But Skinner's got 20 saves, and game 2 of this final remains tied at 1. Nugent Hopkins off the draw against Lundell, who comes up with it, but then gets checked off the puck by Kulak. Broberg up the right-hand side and out. Adam Henrique forces up ice, and now Florida gathering for one last push here on the power play. 15 seconds. Bennett, stick handling, trying to get it back. A pass picked off and cleared by Nugent Hopkins, and make it 33 in a row for the Oilers. Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. We remain tied at 1. Shot in by Ekman Larson. Kind of a sleepy game turned in thus far. I mean, Skinner has not been spectacular, but Edmonton just 7 shots on net. Draisaitl, for the Oilers coming off the successful kill, getting out there with McDavid and Hyman. Chip by Verhaeghe, that was broken up, and now Ekblad had it deflect off a stick. That's a good call. It sails out of play, neutral zone faceoff, coming with 1:16 to go in the second period. And, Bob, you start wondering when that Edmonton push is going to come and how Florida will handle it. The problem is you haven't gotten there yet.
And we've already seen twice in the playoffs this year where the Oilers just haven't been able to get anything going. Game 4 in L.A., 10 shots on goal, 10 shots on goal against the Dallas Stars in Game 6, and only 7 so far here.
But they won both of those games.
Yes.
Here's Ekblad off the dump in, sends it out. Outshot 33-13 by L.A., 34-10 by Dallas, winning both. And now a hand pass will be whistled against Florida off that last draw. 1:02 remaining in this second period with the game tied at 1. And, Bob, I know the top 4 prospects at this summer's upcoming NHL draft are here. They're not necessarily seeing a Picasso to this stage.
This is played with a defensive intensity, not exactly river hockey each way. There were way more chances in Game 1 than in
Face-off, won by Barkov up the left-hand side. Bouchard, they're going to call icing there. That was curious. I mean, that's a tough call against Florida.
Jack, I have a feeling that...
Are they going to change their mind here?
I have a feeling the ice is not as good tonight as it was. Okay. I'm just sensing.
I did talk to the players after Game 1.
And they said it was better.
They liked it much better than Vancouver and much better than Dallas late in the series.
Yeah.
As you know, we talked to some players who felt like they were in the Sahara in the latter stages of that Dallas series, as hot as they've ever been on the bench. Draisaitl wins a faceoff, 53 seconds to go. A blast by Bouchard is blocked. And now, driving down the left-hand side is Verhaeghe. Eckholm cuts him off. Carter Verhaeghe, 42 goals last year, 34 more this year. Put it up around the boards. Ekblad swung up, cut off by Verhaeghe on the half wall, cuts inside. Tough pass into the feet of Reinhart. No chance for Reinhart to make a play on that one. But the Panthers win another battle. Verhaeghe spun down, and Barkov shot grazed the pads of Skinner on its way out of play. And Verhaeghe came very close to drawing a penalty there coming off the right corner boards. 25 seconds to go. Skinner makes his 21st save, and the Oilers will have to fend off one more defensive zone draw.
Edmonton's got to get out of this period, Jack. I know there's 24 seconds left. They got to get out of this period 1-1 and recalibrate here in the second intermission.
Shots are 13-3 in this period, Bob. And again, I agree with you. It's not like Skinner has faced one grade A chance after another, but at some point you'd like to do something offensively.
One team is putting the puck to the net whenever they can. The other team isn't, and that's part of the problem. Let's drop the puck here.
And 2 games in a row, 0 for 3 on the power play. And, Bob, you felt, especially that first one, the Oilers passed up some chances to get the puck to the net. Here's Matthias Janmark in over the line off the draw, and that's an offside.
This game, wow.
Yeah, this is a tough game. This is not one that the Stanley Cup final, producers, when the documentary of this final is produced, my guess is, at least at this stage, Game 2 footage will be minimal. Rodriguez against Adam Henrique. And a face-off won by Rodriguez. Brandon Montour back behind the net. And again, it's so quiet. Up the left-hand side, Mikkola to Rodriguez. I guarantee you we won't be saying that Thursday night. Panthers bang it in deep, final 3 seconds. The Oilers are going to melt off the remaining time. And Ryan McLeod takes a little extra pop from Montour at the horn. Shots are 22-7 through 40 minutes. That's the bad news, including 13-3 in that second period. But the good news for Oiler partisans is you've got a 1-1 game. You go out and win a period. Now, as we've talked about, Bob, coming in to this game, Florida has outscored its opposition 25-11 in the third period in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And after being so good in the regular season, the Oilers have been outscored 20-12 in the third period of this year's postseason. So, if you're Chris Knobloch, do you consider any changes? What are you looking for in terms of generating a spark to get some offensive thrust going? Because right now, Bob, we don't know whether Florida's defensive game is intact because they haven't had to defend much.
It's a completely fair comment. I mean, it's, it looks like Evander Kane was a bit out of rotation in the final 8 or 9 minutes of that period as well. He didn't get a lot of shifts. Obviously, Warren Fogle kicked out of the game. I didn't really like that call. To me, that's a minor penalty. Nurse took one shift for 7 seconds in that period. I just don't know if Edmonton, they look, it's not that they look tired. They just look like they have no jump. And Mikkola with a game-tying goal, Stuart Skinner will probably tell you he should have had back sort of a slow developing. I mean, we've had defensemen step up and basically score from the same spot in the ice. And both goalies will tell you they probably should have had it.
Bobrovsky,
and the Oilers' reluctance just to attack the net on the power play may come back and cost them this game. Jack, we see the same thing over and over again when the Oilers go on the road and they're in buildings that don't have as good an ice as Edmonton. You have to simplify your power play. You've got Bouchard, you've got Nugent Hopkins. You can't be passing off and trying to set up the perfect thread that need us. And they've got a long team. They got tall, rangy defensemen, and the ice isn't great. It's a little. My guess is it's a little sticky. It's certainly not as good as it is in Edmonton. And I think Edmonton has to simplify, put pucks to the net every chance they get here in the third period. Every chance, because they made it really easy for Sergei Bobrovsky so far in this game.
Well, and you didn't really test him when he gave up the bad goal. No. You wanted to see maybe what he has, and Edmonton hasn't done it often enough. And we told you the third period numbers, so that's a big reason why. In games tied after 2 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Oilers are 0-4. The Panthers are 4-1. Edmonton will try to turn those numbers on a dime to get this series tied, with Game 3 looming back in Edmonton on Thursday night at 6:20 Mountain Time at Rogers Place. But that's Game 3. This is Game 2, and there's a period to be played. 40 minutes complete. Edmonton 1, Florida 1. This is Game 2 coverage of the Stanley Cup Final, live from Sunrise, Florida. The Oilers Radio Network.
Proudly headquartered in Edmonton, Capital Power is powering change by changing power. Be part of the energy and join Capital Power in cheering on our Edmonton Oilers. From Ice District and across oil country as they chase another championship banner. Visit capitalpower.com to learn about how they're delivering reliable and affordable power for communities today and creating innovative solutions for a clean electricity future.
Get ready to live sky high. Sky Signature Suites offers remarkable units for rent featuring sophisticated floor plans, designer finishes, and breathtaking views. Experience resort-like amenities including a full-time concierge, yoga and fitness studios, golf simulator, plus indoor and outdoor lounges for you to live your best life. Visit SkySignatureSuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
The intermission, brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Redirected off Kulikov. Rebound McDavid. Penalty is over. Nugent Hopkins fires off the post. Rebound, swing and a miss, Draisaitl. Bouchard is shot. That deflects up on the glass.
All right, that's the highlight zone for Century Casinos. All in, all games, all season. Century Casinos, 3 great locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton International Airport. Welcome to the winner's zone. Nico Mikkola, the only goal of the second period. Matthias Eckholm scored back in the first. It's 1-1 after 2. Rob Brown, Reed Wilkins at the intermission for End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring. But, Rob, the Oilers under fire tonight, outshot 13-3 in that period. 22-7 Panthers have the advantage for the game.
It's funny how we've seen these playoffs go, Reed, with the Oilers. There's been games against Vancouver where they were totally dominated. And then the next night they come out and it's the exact opposite. Dallas, there's games you think, okay, the Oilers are going to win 4 straight. Then you watch the Dallas last game. How did Dallas not win this series? And then back-to-back games. Game 1, the Oilers were so much better than the Florida Panthers. It was an absolute crime that they didn't win that game. And tonight, the Oilers have a chance to do the same thing to Florida, a game that this is probably should be down 2-1 in, if not more. A game that Florida has had the better of the play, yet the Panthers are hanging around. The Oilers are hanging around. But what it comes down to is goaltending. In the first game, Bobrovsky, fantastic for the Florida Panthers. And in this game tonight, the Stuart Skinner has been very, very good for the Edmonton Oilers. So goaltending is everything, and we've seen some fantastic goaltending so far in the first 2 games of this final series.
Yeah, Skinner, especially the stop on Tkachuk on a 2-on-1, and then Bennett all alone in front on a power play. Skinner pushed out on him and made the save. Rob, the Oilers are at 34 straight on the PK. Panthers are 0 for 4 on the power play tonight. Edmonton is 0 for 3, Rob. I think both penalty kills have been huge so far in this series.
Well, this is a series that I think all games are going to be 1 to 2 goal games. I mean, every game is going to be tight. Any team that can find a power play goal is going to have a huge advantage in it. I do believe the Oilers are creating a number of chances. I think they look much more dangerous on their power play than Florida does. There are a couple posts that the Oilers hit on their power play. They had a couple great looks. But the Florida Panthers are selling out completely on their penalty kill. They're getting in shooting lanes, a bunch of big blocks for them, good sticks in the lane. A couple things as we go forward. One of the main things, if this game does not end in Edmonton's favor, a 50-50 call on that puck that was shot out of the glass. It was close. It was really close. The puck went over the boards. The Oilers were on the power play. That would have given them 5-on-3, an extended 5-on-3.
Minute 46.
That could have changed the game. Now, I understand on the refs on that one. It was so close. Now, I don't know the complete rule. Now, you might know more than I. If it touches blue paint, is it considered out?
Well, if the puck is inside the zone, the blue line becomes part of the offensive zone, right? Because if you try...
That's what I thought. So
yeah,
it would have to be... I would think it would have to go all the way to the opposite side of the blue line, would it not? Like to the center ice side of it.
Yep.
If that's the case, well, then it was a big miss because that's a foot. If it was just touching the blue line, well, if it's just touching the blue line, well, then the referees have a hard call because it was as close as it could get. But if that call, and it was close, and they talked about it, if it goes for the Oilers' favor, this could be 2-1 or 3-1 right now for the Edmonton Oilers because a 5-on-3 is huge. They're showing it on the replay right now. And it is so tight by the time it leaves his stick. But at the end of this game, that call will loom large if it does not go in the Oilers' favor.
Yeah, that was a really close one, and that's something that's going to be reviewed in the future. But yeah, I'm just trying to find the exact verbiage.
I would think, I'm guessing that if it touches the blue line, it's considered no longer...
it just says inside the defending zone. So to me,
I'm guessing
if
the blue
it's
line
not all the way out, that's inside the defending zone, right? Because the blue line is always onside, right? It's always to the favor of the attacking team. So
yeah,
it's really close, though.
It is really. I mean, I'm sure there's rules people out there, or the NHL may send out something. I don't know, but that could change the game, and other things that may change the game too. The Oilers have played one forward short for the majority of this game, and they've played one defenseman short, is Darnell Nurse, who he's had a tired night just walking back and forth from the dressing room. As I think it's been 4 times. I don't know if you're going to see him the rest of the night, and he's only played 2:46 in this game.
Played one
and Vinny
shift that period.
Vinny Desharnais, who comes out of the press box and has already played 11 minutes in a rotation with only 5 defensemen. That is, I know that there's some detractors for Darnell Nurse, but that would be a big loss for the remainder of this game, especially, and this is a 1-1 game, both goalies playing well. This game could go longer than 60 minutes. With 5 defensemen, that's asking a lot of players, especially a Broberg and a Broberg, a Desharnais, and a Kulak. 3 guys that wouldn't get extended minutes in a hockey game may get more and more as this game moves on.
Well, Rob, and the Panthers, they defend desperately, right? They're never out of it. There's been plenty of times, well, a few times. They are playing well, but where it looked like the Oilers, here's a clean pass, here's a clean shot. They're always in the way. A guy checked at the last minute. They just do not quit on their own end.
They don't, and they got some long defensemen that can get their stick in the way. They are not afraid to block shots. I tell you, I'd be fearful every time Bouchard wound up, and I'm the guy in the lane. But their willingness right now to do whatever it takes, and that's how you get to the Stanley Cup Finals, and that's how you win a Stanley Cup is doing whatever it takes. And the Florida Panthers play with desperation in their own zone. And I think anybody from the West that hasn't seen the Eastern Conference play very often, I think you're getting a new appreciation for Barkov as a hockey player. He is everything that you ever imagined the best, one of the best two, if not the best two-way centerman in the National Hockey League is. He's been excellent in this hockey game and has had to be because he's been going head-to-head with the Oilers' best and the best in the world, Connor McDavid, for 5 periods now.
The 50-50 at $3.2 million for the jackpot. That'll continue through to Saturday night after Game 4. You can go to the Oilers website and get your ticket, helping out the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation, supporting Albertans battling cancer, kids with critical illness, animal shelters, food security, military personnel, and much more. It is 1-1 through 40 minutes. Oilers and Panthers in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. This is Fort Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
Athletes know that to advance your career, you've got to be part of a winning team. So, what about you? Are you working for a winning team? Well, here's your chance to do just that. Brant is a strong and stable industry leader with career opportunities across Canada. We have hundreds of positions available right now, from parts, sales, positioning technology, heavy-duty mechanics, and more. Be a part of a winning team. Earn your stripes by joining Brant today. Find out more at BrantJobs.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Straining to find the right home? You're going to love this. For a limited time, get back in the game with a free Oiler Fan Cave basement by Coventry Homes. This playoff package includes a free basement, plus an exclusive Oiler Fan Cave, complete with their signature customizable designs and top-shelf finishes at no additional cost. Because flexibility is within reach. Coventry Homes, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers.
This is Global News at the second intermission. I'm Rod Kurtz. Well, one more thing for Oiler fans to add to their entertainment schedule, the Festival at the Final. The NHL and Rogers putting on pregame concerts outside Rogers Place on Thursday and Saturday. At 4 o'clock at the Scotiabank Fan Park Thursday, it'll be Juno-winning band Our Lady Peace. Saturday, multi-Grammy winner Shania Twain. The concerts are free and open to the public. The city investing about $40,000 to set up 27 new water stations in underserved communities. Besides helping those who are experiencing homelessness, the city says they'll also help seniors and kids and even pets stay hydrated. Councillor Tim Cartmel presenting a controversial idea at tomorrow's City Council meeting. With budgets so tight, he wants to find out how much money the city could make if it sold off undeveloped parts of Blatchford. Last time he suggested this, Council ran out of time to deal with the motion. I'm Rod Kurtz, your next scheduled newscast after the game on 6:30 CHED.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
Hey parents, do you work in downtown Edmonton? Childcare is hard to find, but at Kepler Academy, inside Sun Life Place, we still have some space for children 12 months to 6 years old. Located at 101 23 Hull Street, Kepler Academy Sun Life Place is an award-winning early learning and childcare provider, voted Edmonton's top choice for 4 years in a row. Visit KeplerAcademy.ca. Mention this ad and your registration fees will be waived.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
The intermission, brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard for Pizza 73, official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. Ninth inning, Blue Jays down to their last out, trailing the Brewers 3-1 in Milwaukee. Elks back at practice, getting set to face the Montreal Alouettes at Commonwealth on Friday. Head coach Chris Jones knows it's going to be a tough one.
The thing I told them after the game is, thank God it's a short week so we can get back out and play. I watched the Montreal football team this morning. It's going to be a real test. I mean, they're a really good football team in all phases. They've got really good players. They've figured out how to win, and so I look forward to seeing where we stack up against them.
All right, we'll see if the Edmonton Oilers can figure out how to win this one. They are in a 1-1 tie with the Panthers after Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final, but Florida carrying the play, outshooting Edmonton 22-7. Jack and Bob are next. Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
At the intermission has been brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Experience the exciting casino action at 3 Century Casino locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton Airport. Dine at one of their amazing restaurants featuring daily specials. Check out the best in live entertainment at any amazing location. Plus, you can always enjoy a great selection of casino gaming options. Or try your luck at off-track betting. And now you can feel the thrill of live horse racing at Century Mile Racetrack. Century Casino has it all. Come for the action, stay for the fun.
When the Oilers are on the ice, the big hits are a part of the game. But they shouldn't be a part of your drive. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown & Associates and their over 200 years of combined injury law experience help you. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown & Associates is ready to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Even though your 20s are behind you, you still get to have firsts. Like the first time your knee hurts after a morning run. Or the first time you felt certain muscles after a workout. Whatever your pain, Advil Liquid Gels are here for these firsts. Advil Liquid Gels provide liquid fast relief for everyday aches and pains. So you can get back to your everyday active life where firsts still happen. When pain says you can't, Advil says you can. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Well, on your way to a Stanley Cup, there are going to be situations where you're going to grind one out and not care what it looks like, and that's certainly the case for both clubs tonight. Edmonton and Florida engaged in a 1-1 log jam through 40 minutes of play. We'll be skating 5-on-5 to start the third period as we welcome you back inside our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth high atop Amerant Bank Arena. McDavid wins the faceoff from Barkov, and we are underway with the third period. 20 minutes potentially to decide this one. Eckholm, Bouchard, with McDavid, Nugent-Hopkins, and Hyman to start. Wheeled up the right-hand side. Hyman is tracked by Forsling. Shrugs him off. Shoots! And that stayed out. Rebound Eckholm. Put it down low for Hyman. Good shift here for Edmonton to start the period. Hyman waiting, dragging, shooting, and that was blocked. Perhaps hung on to it a shade too long. Ekblad, the shot block, and Eckholm drifts back into his own zone for the Edmonton Oilers. Punched forward and giving it a wary look is Sergei Bobrovsky, beaten by Eckholm in the first period on a goal he'd probably like to have back. And then this man, Niko Mikkola, tied the game in the second period as he shovels it in. Matthew Tkachuk after it. A big, thunderous hit by Sam Bennett as he absolutely belted Broberg, who got back up, challenged Tkachuk, forced the puck loose, and Edmonton crisscrossing in over the line. Kulak a shot left wing and a save made by goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with the Oilers back on the puck. Vinny Desharnais, right point. He'll sift one down low for Draisaitl. Henrique breaks free. A shot by Holloway blocked. Rebound smacked around and in the high slot. Peeled out and cleared by Carter Verhaeghe, who takes a bump from Desharnais in pursuit of the puck. Kulak back to handle it. At this point, Darnell Nurse, well, we don't know whether he's going to try to gut it out here in the third period. Kulak and Desharnais would indicate that maybe he's not ready to give it a try just yet. Golfed in by Adam Henrique. Oilers already without Warren Fogle. 5-minute major for kneeing in a game misconduct. Back in the first period, Edmonton ended up scoring 4-on-4 when Oliver Ekman-Larsson, the man with the puck in his own end, took a penalty. Carrick held the puck in on the half wall for a moment and then eventually sent out for Dmitry Kulikov. He's checked by Desharnais, wound up in the corner. Tarasenko followed up. Anton Lundell pounced on a loose puck left circle. Stick handling through a phone booth, and then Carrick was able to tie him up. Crowd wanted a hooking call, none forthcoming. Darnell Nurse is back on the ice, and he's able to clear. Niko Mikkola, Bob nearly dismembered the pass box in attempting to point that out to me, forgetting that I also have a set of eyes. Here's McLeod on the puck for Edmonton. Checked by Stanley, who broke his stick, and an outlet for Matthias Eckholm. Rink wide, grabbing it, Connor Brown. Flick back the other way, Bouchard. Back toward the high slot, taken by Barkov. Stephen Lawrence will fire it in for Florida. 3 minutes having been played in the third period. Opozo able to seal the wall against Evander Kane. He's played sparingly tonight. Opozo from the right corner. Gives it up for Evan Rodriguez. Surveys, and then when he tried to center, stole it back and fired and scored. 2-1 Florida. Skinner over the right shoulder. It's Rodriguez's second goal in as many games, his fifth of the playoffs, and the Panthers break through for their first lead of the night with 16:49 to play.
What have they done? They've shot the puck every chance they got, and that time they beat Stuart Skinner. Heidel will block her side on a turnover. Edmonton had puck possession back in their zone. And Evan Bouchard went to play it, and it got turned over. Bouch would like that play back.
Rodriguez stole it,
and
dusted it off, and ripped it over the right shoulder of Stuart Skinner. So now it's 2-1 Florida. Shots are 23-9 in favor of the Panthers. Lifted over the outstretched arm of Aaron Ekblad and down the ice. Forsling able to get just ahead of Zach Hyman to create the icing call. Still 16 and a half minutes left in regulation. But the turnover leads to a 2-1 Florida lead. And we talked about the third period head-to-head where the Panthers have been so good in the playoffs, and the Oilers, quite frankly, have struggled. They're a -9 in the third period when it comes to goal differential in the playoffs. And the reason we're surprised by that, Bob, is how good they were in the regular season.
Yep, no question.
Barkov against McDavid, won the faceoff. Panthers back on it. Centering pass, Rodriguez stolen away. Still, it's just a one-goal lead. Rodriguez unassisted. McDavid a clear. Center ice, Nugent-Hopkins breaking free. Kulak Tried to give it up for Zach Hyman, and it drifts into the corner. I thought Kulak had a step there. Broberg sends it bouncing down low for Zach Hyman. Behind the net, Connor McDavid. Dragging against Ekblad. Forsling is there. Ekblad tracking McDavid out. High slot, ripped by Kulak. Kick save made. Bobrovsky, rebound cleared by Rodriguez. He wants a change. Reinhart deflected a Kulak lead pass right to Zach Hyman, and then came over to finish off Hyman himself. And when he does, you've got 132 goals coming together. Here's a big hit on Carter Verhaeghe by Vinny Desharnais. Played back toward the Oiler net. Eckholm to Adam Henrique, and he'll rifle it in. Sergei Bobrovsky. Tough handoff to Mikkola. That was a tough pass. Draisaitl to Desharnais. His shot blockered away by Bobrovsky, and the rebound, Sam Bennett. 15 and a half to go. Matthew Tkachuk. Shot blocked by Eckholm. And the rebound, Draisaitl. Ahead for Adam Henrique. He's in over the line. Checked by Montour, bouncing puck. Holloway tried to center. Bennett stole it, deflected right in front, and turning the other way was Leon Draisaitl, then tried to locate Holloway in the slot. That was intercepted by Verhaeghe, but he did not muster a clear. Puck rolled free. Another failed effort, this time by Tkachuk. Bouchard over to Eckholm. His drive, and that sailed into the opposite corner. Another clear Verhaeghe, and that one off a linesman, Devin Berg. Now Bouchard at center ice. He'll knife it back in with Carrick in on the forecheck. Takes Ekman Larson against the end boards. Connor Brown behind the net for Carrick. Brown knocked off balance. Shot by Broberg. Did not make its way to the net and slid off the heel of his stick out to Bouchard. And Nurse is still playing sparingly, Bob. He's not seeing a regular turn on a pair. We might see him again, but I don't know for how long. Here's Connor Brown gaining the line. In over, left-hand side is Connor McDavid. Back to the point, ripped by Broberg, and that was partially blocked by a hobbled Tarasenko. Now it's Janmark to Kulak. His shot on net, and Bobrovsky is able to cover. 14-11 to go in the third period. The good news here, Bob, is for the first time, and maybe it's because they're down now, the Oilers are funneling some pucks through toward that Florida goal.
Yeah, no question. Edmonton's got 5 shots here in the first 5 minutes. The problem is they've given up the 1 goal on what's turned out to be the only shot of the period for Florida. The Oilers are going to have to dig in.
2-1 our score, Florida. 14-11 to go in the third period. McDavid out there with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Eckholm and Bouchard defensively. And I think we're working on some paraphernalia, maybe a knob of a stick at the other end. They'll clean that up and get situated for a face-off to Sergei Bobrovsky's right-hand side. Bobrovsky, a lifetime playoff record of 42-40. Face-off win for Reinhart. But what's interesting about that is he's 25-11 over the last 2 years. He's totally turned around his reputation. Panthers dump it in. Rodriguez won a battle, pinballed off Eckholm wide of the net. Panthers almost got a huge bounce there. Hyman able to steer one up to Nugent Hopkins. Batted out of midair by Forsling back to center. Bouchard sent it ahead looking for Hyman. Ekblad able to get a clear. And now the Panthers through the neutral zone. In over the line. Loading and firing Barkov. Tipped away harmlessly by Evan Bouchard, who then takes Barkov against the boards. Matthew Tkachuk onto the ice. Around Eckholm. Carrying behind the Edmonton net. Still swinging around the boards. Tkachuk's had a couple of good looks tonight. Missed an open net earlier. Shot by Montour and a blocker save made by Skinner. That puck will tumble out of play with 13:20 to go in the third period. The Panthers have taken their first slate of the night. Rodriguez unassisted off a turnover. And it's Florida 2, Edmonton 1 in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final, live from Amerant Bank Arena. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
This Discover the epitome of elegance at Alberta Diamond Exchange, dedicated to crafting unforgettable moments with exquisite jewelry collections for over 2 decades. From stunning engagement rings to timeless wedding bands and anniversary treasures, the Alberta Diamond Exchange commitment extends far beyond I do. Your journey with Alberta Diamond Exchange is not just about jewelry. It's about an unparalleled experience. Check out the Aspen Glen Landing Boutique in Southwest Calgary. And for more information, head to avdiamond.ca today.
Get ready to live sky high. Sky Signature Suites offers remarkable units for rent, featuring sophisticated floor plans, designer finishes, resort-like amenities, and breathtaking views. Situated in the heart of Ice District, Sky is the address for socializing, dining, entertainment, and fun. A building like no other in a location like no other. Visit skysignaturesuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
There's only one line of trucks that's outsold all others for 58 years. Only one with the available Power Boost hybrid engine on select models that delivers performance and efficiency. It's the truck that all others are measured by. You know the one. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Right now, lease the 2024 F-150 STX with black appearance package at 2.49% APR for up to 24 months with 4,800 down. That's just $228 bi-weekly. Visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
All games, all seasons. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Face-off left of Stuart Skinner. 13:20 to play, third period. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Florida won game one by a count of 3-0. Wasn't the first time the Oilers were shut out in a Stanley Cup final opener. Beaten 3-0 by the New York Islanders back in 1983. Off the draw, here's Kulikov trying to speed Opozo, who bumped it wide. Loose puck in the slot, Opozo reaching, Evander Kane backhanding ahead, and now trying to plow through traffic is Kulak. I want to see Lawrence turn it back the other way for Florida. Broberg to Kane. He'll chip it ahead for Ryan McLeod. Knifes it along. After it is Adam Henrique. Shot by Kulak, deflected into the slot. And Lawrence, a smart clear up the center for Opozo, who spins and backhands it in deep. Stuart Skinner with Lawrence trying to pick his pocket. Barkov fed the point. Shot Ekblad. Save Skinner. Rebound McLeod to Henrique, and he's certain of a clear to center ice. 12.5 minutes left in regulation. Florida has outshot Edmonton 25-12, leads the game 2-1. Alexander Barkov in over the line. McDavid pried it loose. Bouchard over to Draisaitl. So Draisaitl and McDavid paired back together, Bob. Once again, we're seeing Chris Knob. Oh, here's a near turnover. Rodriguez worked that puck free. Bennett won a battle, freeing it up for Rodriguez. His centering pass intercepted by Hyman out there with McDavid and Draisaitl. And Draisaitl one-hands it toward Bobrovsky. Here carefully, drops it off. Puck played up the middle. Bennett had a chance to clear, failed to do it. Forsling will try, whistles one off the glass. Big bounce through Eckholm. Gets on edge, and enough for icing. I think that's a good break for Edmonton. That was really borderline. 11:47 remaining in the third period. What do you think of the move to go right back? And we saw it. They're going to go McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman here.
Well, Leon cut his shift short because he'd just been on the ice before. I think if you look at the analytics, they're surprisingly in favor of Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, and Hyman. Just keep them together.
So Nugent Hopkins, an offensive zone draw against Sam Bennett. To the right of Bobrovsky, won it cleanly. Bouchard shot redirected. And that wound up in the corner for McDavid. Tried to slide it back to Bouchard and did so. Here's Eckholm's drive up high. Bobrovsky a save. The rebound squirts free, and it's Rodriguez. Up to Matthew Tkachuk, and he'll float one toward the Edmonton net and crowd Stuart Skinner and Bouchard. Big hit landed on Bouchard. Glancing blow on Nugent Hopkins. And now Bouchard tried to put it up the boards and turned it over. Tkachuk to Bennett on his backhand, tried to throw it in front. Verhaeghe was camped out there, but it was deflected right into Skinner's pads, and he'll freeze it with 11:17 to play in this third period, and Florida clinging to a 2-1 lead. Series has been chippy at times. Both teams 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. And a face-off coming to Skinner's left. McLeod with Kane and Holloway. Darnell Nurse returns for a shift alongside Vinny Desharnais.
A little surprised by this. Just the whole combination of players that's on the ice here, albeit against the third line for Florida.
Anton Lundell out there for the face-off, and he lost it cleanly. McLeod's been good on draws in the postseason. Wins the face-off. Desharnais up the right-hand side, and that's chipped in softly by Holloway. McLeod tried to center, deflected out. Vinny Desharnais, a shot, drifts wide of the net. Rebound Mikkola, who scored the game-tying goal in the second period for Florida. Go-ahead goal in the third belongs to Rodriguez. Spun in deep by Holloway.
Longest shift here for Darnell.
Bobrovsky left-hand side. McLeod out of the corner, hacked out by Luostarinen, but held in at the last minute by Evander Kane. He'll keep it moving for McLeod. Out to the point. Nurse a shot, and that was blocked. The rebound. Panthers after it. Montour climbed up on the glass, trickled dangerously out in front, but the Panthers are there, and it's going to be skated up the center by Opozo and swatted in by Luostarinen. Line change Florida. 10:20 remaining in the third period. Edmonton trailing by a score of 2-1. Looking to get a split here in Sunrise and go home with home ice advantage for the final 5 games of the Stanley Cup Final. Desharnais to Connor Brown. Around Stenlin. He'll dart in and be tracked by Kulikov to the point. Kulak shot, second effort, blasted it wide, rebound kept alive for the moment, and now an icing call will be taken by Stephen Lawrence. 9:53 to go, and Edmonton will counter with its top unit against Florida's fourth line, essentially, and their third pair. So this is a good matchup for Edmonton, and you'll see Draisaitl return to the ice with McDavid and Hyman for a 5-on-5 shift after an icing call. Kevin Stenley, key draw here to Bobrovsky's right. Oilers look for the equalizer. In the game and in the series. Stenley lobbying and now digging in against Draisaitl for the draw. Face-off wins Stenley. Ekman-Larsson hard up the glass, down the left-hand side. This will be another icing call against Florida. 9:46 to play in the third. Shots are 26-12 in favor of the Panthers. The go-ahead goal scored unassisted by Rodriguez 3 minutes into this final frame. But a good matchup here. Top line against the fourth unit and third pair for Edmonton.
Got to win and draw here if you're Leon, or if
he's
going to
be chased out, and Connor McDavid, the captain, will take his spot. He has an assist on the only Oiler goal from Matthias Eckholm that opened the game scoring. But Stenley wins another faceoff. And now Ekman-Larsson has it deflected out of play, and the Panthers will have to do it again. And this game has had lots of spurts and starts, but on that deflection, of course, Bob, as you know, Florida can not only change it up, but we've got a television timeout on the ice. So we'll take a break from up top here in our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. 9:43 left in the third period. The Oilers trying to find a way to get this game tied and this series tied. Stanley Cup Final. The Oilers Radio Network.
When you play the largest 50-50 in sports, everybody wins. Your support makes all of Oil Country a better place. A place of kindness, caring, and compassion. Uplifting those in need, changing lives forever. The largest 50-50 pot in professional sports is currently growing by the second. Get your tickets now at EdmontonOilers.com and help change lives today. Maybe even your own.
AGLC license number 645766.
When the Oilers are on the ice, the big hits are a part of the game. But they shouldn't be a part of your drive. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown & Associates and their over 200 years of combined injury law experience help you. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown & Associates is ready to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 955, is one of Alberta's largest and most diverse union locals in the province. Members work in everything from construction and maintenance to pipelines, renewables, healthcare, education, municipalities, and more. They are a big part of Alberta's past and will be a big part of Alberta's future. Apprenticeship, jobs, pension. That's IUOE Local 955. Visit joinustoday.ca to learn more, and let's go Oilers.
You're listening to Oilers Hockey on 630 CHED and on the Radio Player Canada app.
McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman given another opportunity. Offensive zone draw. 9:43 to play in the hockey game. Barkov and Draisaitl lining up to Bobrovsky's left-hand side. 2-1 Florida. Panthers trailed 1-0 after one. Got it tied in the second and have taken the lead here in the third. And it's airmailed out of the zone by Forsling off the draw. Hyman working his way in from the right half boards. Draisaitl gathering, spinning, dishing off, and what do we have? And now Draisaitl drew the ire of a couple of Panthers.
Look at, oh man, from behind, what? And the league just empowers this guy. He's on Bouchard. He's sitting there the entire time. Bennett and Tkachuk out there. That time it's Ekblad.
Well, I mean, Barkov was butt-ended in the face.
Yeah. Give him a stick. Let him know. Let's see what the call is here. Already given on a 50-50 play, one way versus the other, 5 versus 2. They're looking at this on Leon. This is not good.
Yeah, Barkov was just hit by a crushing elbow. It wasn't really a butt end. It was just a crushing elbow from Leon Draisaitl. And he caught him cleanly and flush right on the jaw.
They didn't even catch it initially. Did not catch it initially.
Well, it's an elbowing penalty. I mean, you can't create it out of thin air. Absolutely.
Right. It's either a major or it's not called. And they didn't call it initially, unless they're saying the linesman.
Barkov stunned and will be let off.
Well, we should mention
but he's shaken up.
Losterainen returned after the sequence with Fogle. It got Fogle a major penalty. Bennett.
And Draisaitl kind of launched himself there. I mean, Bob,
this is not good.
If it's
here we go.
Someone on McDavid.
Edmonton 29 minor penalty for roughing.
That's roughing. I mean, that's strange. That could have been. I agree with you, Bob. They might have gotten those reversed. I mean, that was really, really close to being maybe more than that. They got the minor for elbowing. I agree with you. I didn't see any arm go up initially. I mean,
what? Like, I think what the Oilers are going to have to do here as the series goes on is they're going to have to, start embellishing a bit more. Going to have to sell some calls.
Bob, Barkov did not embellish that. He was drilled with a flying elbow.
I'm saying, let's see how long until he's back on the ice, Jack.
Well, you saw the replay. Did he not get caught with an elbow right on the jaw? All right. Different interpretation. Bennett,
well, I'll tell you what
off with Carrick. I mean, it's a 2-minute minor.
I'm surprised it's a 2-minute minor. Like, I always thought it needed to be. Anyways, they got to get a kill. They got to get a kill. That's what they got to get.
Bennett wins the draw. Boards, Montour, Verhaeghe, wrist shot blocked by Vinny Desharnais and shoveled down the ice by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Great game, Nugent-Hopkins.
Well, and the Oiler penalty kill continues. Again, you're asking me what one element of the game has Edmonton in the Stanley Cup final. I'd tell you it was the penalty kill. Sam Bennett hits the line, keeps it alive. Verhaeghe shot, and that grazed the pads of Skinner on its way off the glass and all the way out to center. Minute 15 left in the penalty to Draisaitl. 8:40 to go in the hockey game. That's the other thing you got to keep in mind now is time starting to shrink, even though you're down only one. Panthers get it in deep. Tkachuk serves it up for Montour. Wrist shot, deflected wide of Skinner. Rebound, big hop off the end boards. Kulak to Brown, and a backhander sent down the ice. And once again, the Oiler penalty killers giving their team lots of energy, lots of life, and quite frankly, keeping them in the game. Florida's penalty kill has done a good job as well tonight. and in the series. A perfect 6 for 6. Shot in, deep for Rodriguez. Right corner, Aaron Ekblad. Rodriguez with a go-ahead goal in this game. Sent out to the point. Shot Ekman-Larsson. Redirected just wide of Skinner. Now Rodriguez out to Ekman-Larsson. Poured it across. Heading for the net. Lundell. And a miscommunication. And that went between Rodriguez and Ekman-Larsson, who scampers after it with just 15 seconds left in the minor to Draisaitl. And once again, the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill is keeping Edmonton in the game. Lundell hits the line. Shakes off a check for Bouchard. Center. Beautiful redirect by Rodriguez. That's his second goal of the third period, right as the penalty was coming to an end. It'll be a power play goal that snaps Edmonton's streak of 33 in a row, and the Panthers cash in 3-1 in Game 2 with 7.5 to go. Rodriguez's third goal of the series. Beautiful redirect from Lundell, his second assist of the game. And it's the second unit, Bob, that converts for Florida.
Yeah. Not much of a chance in that sequence for the Edmonton Oilers. Stuart Skinner. Bang, bang, play down low.
So now, we'll see the urgency. McDavid back out there with Draisaitl and Hyman. Bouchard tried to fire it up the middle, blocked by Luostarinen. Up the right-hand side. Real gut check here for the Oilers, staring at a 2-0 deficit potentially. Only once in the history of the club had the Oilers come back from 2-0 down in a series. Now, part of that was utter domination through much of the 1980s. 2006, the Oilers trailed a second-round series against the San Jose Sharks, 2-0. McDavid, beautiful lead pass for Zach Hyman. Bowled his way right through Ekblad. Spun center, one-timer save, Bobrovsky. Helmet comes off. He stopped Eckholm on a high riser, and the helmet popped off with 6:50 to go. 3-1 Florida. And, of course, you're taught as a goaltender, you feel that strap come loose, you toss the helmet off to get the immediate whistle. Bobrovsky hasn't been tested much tonight, but just did fine work on Eckholm.
Good save. But every time there's a little bit of Edmonton energy, Florida starts some stuff after the whistles, specifically against Edmonton's top players. Every time. And this is part of this team was in the Stanley Cup final last year. They have an identity. They're hard to play against. And Jack, they have been hard to play against since about the 8 minutes left in the second period of game number 1. They've been hard to play. The Oilers have not had a lot of opportunities since then.
Nugent Hopkins centering Kane here and Holloway. Broberg and Kulak, and presumably, Bob, that means McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman the rest of the way. Face-off to Bobrovsky's right-hand side. Still almost 7 minutes remaining. Kane wins the face-off, and here's a shot right off the mask of Bobrovsky again. And he makes the save on Kulak, and more pushing and shoving.
Why are they
involved? And Evander Kane joining the fray, and now you've got a wrap-up situation.
He's got
Kane
Montour.
and Montour.
And the line's been doing everything possible to bail out Brandon Montour here.
6:46 left in the third period. And again, the Oilers are more than capable of getting involved with this. They've got some muscle on their team as well with Carrick in the lineup, Bob. But the question I would ask you is this where your focus wants to be when you're down 2 with 6:45 to go?
Florida knows what they're doing, Jack.
Right.
They're starting and stirring. And
so Kane is ushered off.
I would assume.
There's
Montour's got to be getting a penalty.
Yes, and he is. He is. Montour and Kane, they'll saw one another off. 6:46 to go in the third. 3-1 Florida. The one thing this does do is it allows McDavid and Draisaitl a little bit of an extended breather, because you know there's going to be a healthy dose of those 5 down the stretch. So in this particular situation, Bob, it may work out to Edmonton's advantage since they've decided to load up. Now, in a 4-on-4, obviously, you don't have Hyman out there, but you will have McDavid, Draisaitl, Eckholm, and Bouchard. 6:46 to play, and lest we forget, the only Oiler goal tonight came in a 4-on-4 situation. Draisaitl will take the draw with these same 4 players on the ice. Can they connect again for a goal that would bring Edmonton within 1? Draisaitl won the faceoff. McDavid using a screen finds Bouchard. Slap shot kick save made. Bobrovsky. Rebound Lundell. He'll start up ice 2-on-2. Lundell reaches the blue line. Draisaitl tried to reel him in. He'll put it down low, and Sam Reinhart wisely just keeps the puck lodged between his skates and the boards. And this is just melting clock here. Finally tugged free by McDavid. He'll start up ice with Leon Draisaitl. Forsling poke checked at the line. Ekblad able to take over. Eckholm calling for a replacement. The Panthers through the neutral zone. It's Forsling. Drop pass Tkachuk. Loading up. Waiting. Tried to bank it off Skinner. And again slipped into the slot by Forsling. And all of a sudden it's a breakaway. Here's Connor McDavid heading in on net. Stopped by Bobrovsky. Rebound McDavid. And the net dislodged from its moorings. I did not see a penalty called on the play. And now you've got Tkachuk trying to engage McDavid. 5:53 to go in the third period. I did not see a penalty called there. Bobrovsky made the save.
Well, Tkachuk got away with the cross-check on McDavid after the scoring attempt.
If it remains 4-on-4, we'll replace the net and likely come back after a timeout on the ice. Let's see if there are any penalties forthcoming. This one has had all kinds of chippiness to it.
His stick's between his legs as he's trying to score. It's between his legs. Normally, that's a call.
Now, remember, there's no... The one thing, Bob, we have got to remind our listeners is with 6 minutes to go, Alexander Barkov, the reigning Selke Trophy winner, is unavailable to the Panthers to nurse this 2-goal lead home. 5:53 to go in the third. No penalties called on the play. We'll get the net replaced and come back with less than 6 minutes to go in Game 2. It's Florida 3, Edmonton 1. This is the Stanley Cup Final live from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth, the Oilers Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Live sky high with remarkable units for rent and for sale at Sky Signature Suites. Currently offering amazing incentives on 1- and 2-bedroom rentals featuring designer finishes, resort-like amenities, and breathtaking views. All of this and more within the heart of Ice District, Edmonton's best address for shopping, dining, entertainment, and fun. Visit SkySignatureSuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
Pizza 73, the official pizza of your Edmonton Oilers. Loyal to the oil, in Edmonton we trust. Rising to the top like a pizza crust. Down to the crunch, got the flavors to play. The city of champs, going all the way. Let's go Oilers, E-Town unite. Ice District to Jasper, downtown to White. Wearing orange and blue, game on the street. Make the right call, Pizza 73. Let's go Oilers. 737373, Pizza 73. Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
We're pulling the goalie. Wow.
Bob told you, we're pulling the goalie.
Wow.
The Edmonton Oilers
I can't
pulling the goaltender with 5:53 to go in the third period. 5-on-4. Face off to the right of goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky. Draisaitl with McDavid and Hyman stacked in the paint. Nugent Hopkins and Bouchard. Those are the 5 skaters. It's a 4-on-4. And now Draisaitl's going to be chased out of the circle, replaced by McDavid again. Stanley has been good on defensive zone draws in this game and wins another one. Forsling threw it up the glass. A bouncing puck, and that got through. And all the way back into the Edmonton zone, Bouchard will pick it up. Now, the Panthers can't just ice the puck at will. Otherwise, they will be whistled for icing. It's not a power play. Here's McDavid in over the line around Stanley. Tries a centering pass. Hyman lets it go through to Draisaitl, top of the right circle. 3-1 Florida here in game 2. Bouchard to Draisaitl, loading up right circle. He'll move it back to McDavid using a screen from Draisaitl. Circling, dishing, one-timer and a save made on Draisaitl by Sergei Bobrovsky, and the puck lifted out. Luostarin in a backhander toward the net, but wide. He was at center ice, so it's not icing. 5:05 to play in the hockey game. The net is empty, and the Oilers make a change. Adam Henrique onto the ice with Hyman and Dylan Holloway. Henrique put it down low. The Panthers battle, chip, and over the glass. A mistake made by Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who took the penalty to set up Edmonton's one and only goal tonight in a 4-on-4, and now he fires it over the glass, and the Oilers gifted a fourth power play tonight with 4:54 remaining in the third. Now the Panthers can ice the puck, and that's why absolutely I'd think about putting the goalie back in here.
So do I.
Because how often, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, he's going back in. Stewart's going back in.
I would think, because how often do you practice 6-on-3, right? Or 5-on-3 in that situation? It's just kind of odd. Skinner is going back in. They'll want to get puck possession. Remember, it's not a 5-on-4 power play. It's 4-on-3 at least to start.
Got to win the draw. Well, he's coming out now. I'm surprised.
They are taking him out. See, and the only thing here is if you're allowed to ice the puck, Bob, sometimes you just get lucky and it finds its way in the net.
Well, you got to win face-off. It's a 5-on-3 here for Edmonton. You got to win the draw. Leon's got to win a face-off here.
Now it's going to go to 6-on-4 in 8 seconds. 3-1 our score, Florida in game 2. McDavid and Hyman lined up in the paint. Off the draw, Draisaitl won it, spun back, Nugent-Hopkins to Bouchard. Now you've got McDavid left circle. Side of the net, Nugent-Hopkins tried to center, bounced in the air, batted down, in the high slot. Panthers will get it, and Sam Reinhart forces it back to the Edmonton line, and that's all. Now it's a 6-on-4. The Oilers on the Atco power play, trying to get within 3-2 with 4.5 minutes remaining. They send it in deep. Sam Reinhart can't clear initially. Now he will. He'll launch it down the middle, and he put too much hook on it, so it sails wide of the net and is grabbed by Bouchard. But right there, Bob, you can just take that at liberty. Here's a drop pass for McDavid. In across the line, Nugent-Hopkins fields it on one bounce, put it behind the net. Hard rim by Forsling, but not hard enough. Draisaitl managed to hold the zone. It squirted loose into the slot, trapped underneath Nugent-Hopkins, kept alive by Hyman. Draisaitl to Bouchard, and now McDavid up top. Bouchard back to McDavid, left point. He'll go to the corner for Nugent-Hopkins. 3:50 to go in the hockey game. Bouchard with his team down 3-1. Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid fires it out. Bouchard, Nugent-Hopkins shoots, and that ended up high over the right shoulder of Bobrovsky. Off the boards, Draisaitl to Bouchard. McDavid to the net, weaving, waiting, centering, deflected away, chipped off the glass, and that climbed out of play with 3.5 to go in the third period. Now, if you're the Oilers, do you think about a timeout, or do you just roll the lines here? They're going to go ahead and just roll it over and keep it 6-on-4, I do believe. There was an option here to get a timeout.
Still don't have a shot on goal, and they've had 1:24 in the power play.
So now you've got McLeod, Holloway, Brown on the ice, Eckholm. Oilers checking some assignments here, or they might be stalling. Here it is. They're going timeout, and they're just going to get their best 6 back on, feeling that this might be their best chance to win it. They want their best players out there. Not to win it, Bob, obviously, to make this a hockey game with 3.5 to go. So other than the draw, Bob, what's Glenn Gulletson telling his charges here?
To the net, attack the net, get pucks to the net, and you gotta win every loose puck battle right now.
36 seconds left in the delay of game to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And look, we've been quite forthcoming with our praise on the Edmonton penalty kill. Must be noted, Florida, at least to this point in the series, has been equally brilliant on the PK. And finally, of course, the Panthers were able to break loose with a power play goal at the tail end of their last power play. So, rested after the timeout once again. It's Draisaitl, Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman, Evander Kane, and Evan Bouchard.
Well, Kane's going to go right to the front of the net. You know that.
Draisaitl will take the draw. McDavid will join Bouchard at the points. And Kane is going to be alongside Hyman between the hashes. Lundell against Draisaitl on the faceoff. Remember, no Barkov, and Draisaitl won the draw. Here's Bouchard over to McDavid. Back to Bouchard. One-timer Draisaitl. Missed off the side of the net. You've got McDavid coming off the left half boards. Bouchard back to McDavid. Pressure up top. McDavid got around Lundell, heading to the net. Drag move, lost the handle. Lundell, a backhander down the ice. Edmonton still was on the Atco power play, so it's not icing. Bouchard will collect with 3 minutes to go in the hockey game. Edmonton's deficit is 2 here in game 2. Panthers looking to take a 2-0 lead. McDavid in over the line, left to right. Nugent-Hopkins curled it back. Penalty is over. Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, shot, save. Bobrovsky, rebound loose. Kachuk trying to win a battle. From belly down, he's able to knock it inside the Edmonton line. Bouchard back together. McDavid has to change. Nugent-Hopkins to Draisaitl. He'll slug it back in. Trying to seal the wall. Kachuk. Bennett plows right through Evander Kane. A shot toward the empty net. Score. Ekblad buries it. And Florida closing in on a 2-0 lead in the Stanley Cup final. It's 4-1 Panthers with 2:28 to play.
They just keep coming at you. And the Oilers actually probably had their best period of the game, Jack. They got 11 shots on goal in this period, but they didn't generate enough. And right now, every team that's won the special teams battle in every round has won the series. 14 for 14, and right now it's 1-0 for Florida. And they got the power play goal that really put this game in a great position for the Panthers to win. On a deflection by Rodriguez.
Right at the tail end of a power play. What a determined play by Bennett to win that battle from Kane.
He's a good player.
And force it back up ice. Now, of course, the lingering question for Florida is what is the availability for Alexander Barkov?
Well, now you might see some fireworks. All the face washes. Now it's a 3-goal game. If you're going to do anything, now's the time to do it. If you want to sit there and get something going. And I think they've targeted some of Edmonton's best players in the first 2 games. I think we'll see a lot of Florida's 3rd and 4th line players here in the final minute. A couple minutes of this game. Carrick's out there right now.
Face off at center. Sent in deep by Mikkola. Brett Kulak.
Like, if you're going to waste one, now's the time to waste one.
Here's Vinny Desharnais up the right-hand side. Well, unfortunately, I mean, the penalty that spelled Barkov, Bob, ends up being the game-winning goal here. Rodriguez, the power play game winner, unless the Oilers get one late. Carrick bumps it into the offensive zone. Steven Lawrence one-on-one. Carrick sticking Kulikov.
He just flopped. Kulak just, they gave the penalty. Kulikov just flopped on the play. Completely dove. Unbelievable.
Oh, and Carrick just popped Steven Lawrence right in the face with a left jab.
These guys.
4-1 our score. Penalties coming to Sam Carrick. And he'll be gone for the night. Florida will finish this game on a power play. But game 2 already seemingly in the bank for the Florida Panthers. Slashing to Carrick, and maybe that's all they're going to give him. Obviously, at this stage, a double minor really means nothing. 4-1 our score in favor of the Florida Panthers. And they've held serve at home. Edmonton will look to do the same. We'll have games 3 and 4 for you live from Rogers Place. And those games will be played at 6:20 Mountain Time, Thursday and Saturday night. Panthers will go to 8-3 at home. The Oilers will slip to 6-5 on the road in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And again, I'd remind everyone, and the Oilers, again, have played from ahead through much of their Stanley Cup playoff lives over the course of this organization now in its 45th season. The only 2-0 series deficit ever overcome by an Edmonton Oilers hockey club was 2006 against the San Jose Sharks. Rafi Torres played a central role in that comeback.
He would have gotten a 15-game suspension for the hit he nailed Milan Mahalik on now. But there were people that thought the Oilers were done at 2-1 down after the 2 games in San Jose. They lost both games 2-1. The Sharks were infinitely better in every aspect.
Kane will serve the minor off the draw. Sent over to Kevin Stenlund. He'll wind it up. Kick it out to Mikkola. Stenlund left circle. 3 unanswered goals in the third period for Florida. And here's a steal and a shot. And Lawrence slugged it wide. I don't know how many point-blank looks he gets, but that was certainly one against Stuart Skinner. And once again, I go back to the third period, Bob.
Yeah,
it's becoming a bit of an epidemic for the Oilers. Here's a chance. Lawrence again, defended by Eckholm, and that shot forced wide. Ekman-Larsson able to knock it down. Kevin Stenlund run over. Ekman-Larsson threw it across. Mikkola, a drive, a save, Stuart Skinner. Chance of we want the cup reverberating throughout Amerant Bank Arena. Length of the ice clear, delivered by Ryan McLeod. But Florida has now outscored its opposition 28-11 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Oilers are a -11 in the third period, 23-12. So they'll be down 2-0, sent in by Lundell. Florida not sending out either of its top units. Tarasenko will skate off some time here in the final minute. Back to center. Garrett got a 2 and a 10, a slash and a 10-minute misconduct. Tarasenko bumped it beyond the reach of Kulak, and now along the end boards, Lundell. Digging, chiseled free by Connor Brown. Janmark scampering up ice, defended by Kulikov.
Is he not holding him?
Now, Janmark in across the line, 25 seconds to go. Connor Brown backing off. Final 20 seconds. Philip Broberg waiting for his team to get back on side. Carries it in. Opozo came away with the puck. And the Florida Panthers, for the first time ever, have won 2 games in a Stanley Cup final. They were swept in 96. They were beaten in 5 last year. But they're up 2-1 as Opozo skates off the remaining time. 4-1 Panthers in Game 2. The Oilers will head home down 2-0 in the Stanley Cup final. They'll need to win 4 of 5 against a Florida club making its 2nd consecutive appearance in a Stanley Cup final. Battle-tested to be sure, just like the Edmonton Oilers. Well, they've held serve. Now it's incumbent upon the Oilers to do the same. 3 unanswered goals in that third period.
You knew Florida was going to play better tonight, and you wondered, was there a squandered opportunity in Game 1 because of Bobrovsky? And this has been a masterful gamesmanship performance by the Florida Panthers. And there has to be, I'm looking at Ken Holland right now to have a conversation. Lots of after the whistle BS. Dallas did none of that. Every time Edmonton gained any momentum in and around the Florida goal, their players were being worked over. McDavid's taken a fair amount of abuse in this series already through the first 2 games. And the Oilers haven't really gotten in the grill of any Florida's good players, other than the one hit, which surprised.
Alexander Barkov is out for the rest of the game, Bob.
He'll play next game. He'll be fine. Now, Darnell Nurse, I got to tell you, I don't know about Darnell Nurse playing the next game. Now,
he did play a full shift midway through the third period, and Jack wasn't really on it.
Tonight, they were just better. I don't think they were better in Game 1 on Saturday night, but tonight
they weren't close.
But tonight, Florida was better, and the Oilers got a little momentum going on the goal in the first period, but Florida kept coming, and they're a deep team. And right now they appear deeper, more physical, and more experienced in this situation than Edmonton. They do.
Well, in the Stanley Cup final, yes.
Right. And you take a look at...
If Barkov doesn't play Thursday, and he did not return in protecting a 1-goal lead at the time, you'd think if he could play at all, he would have played. So, I mean, that changes the series. That changes the entire scope of the series if Barkov can't go.
We'll see, but they got such a deep team, Jack. He's a great player, great two-way player. Here's what's got to happen on Thursday. The fans have got to help pick the Oilers up a bit here. They're down 2-0. I was in the building back in 2006. The fans picked up the Oilers when they were down 2-0 in Carolina. I hate to say it, but this was a somewhat similar game to what we saw in Carolina last night. It was a 5-0 loss in game number 2. And speaking of picking it up, Anton Lundell, how good has he been for Florida?
Well, when Barkov was hurt earlier in the season, and you and I were here, Lundell was the guy who kind of filled that role. And obviously, he's no Sasha Barkov, but he could play.
This matchup the last couple of years has not been a good one for the Edmonton Oilers, and they are going to have to dig in. They're going to have to dig in big time.
They did win the 2 a couple years ago, but they needed a last-second goal and some overtime heroics to get it done. I mean, look, Florida, in fairness, Bob, they've been a tough matchup for everyone the last 3 years. President's Trophy, Stanley Cup Final the last 3 years. Yeah, to your point about a club that's very accustomed to this situation.
This team, in terms of the advanced analytics with a guy named Sonny Mehta, he's one of the guys. You take a look at the makeup of their management structure, Jack, and you're sitting here with Sonny Mehta is one of the guys. He's a heavy analytics-based guy. But you have Rick Dudley, former NHL GM, worked for years, ran the Detroit Vipers in the IHL. Paul Fenton, former NHL GM. Les Jackson, a great assistant GM for a long time with the Dallas Stars. Roberto Luongo. These are the guys that are advising. Bill Zito, a former agent, as to how to put together his team. 2 of those guys have been NHL general managers, and so they have the right combination where they blend the analytics in terms of with, the see them good, the evaluation. They've got advantages where a player like Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets bought out, and Dallas and Florida, 2 markets where there's no tax. Those organizations benefit. This team's so good that they got a player that played. Josh Maher, did he play every game last year for them in the playoffs?
Yes.
Almost.
Every game, I think, in the regular season.
He can't even get in. Right?
And they've got Nick Cousins and Ryan Lomberg. So if Barkov can't play, Lundell will get bumped up to that line, and then you'll see the insertion of either a Lomberg or a Nick Cousins, both useful bottom 6 players.
And unfortunately for the Oilers, you take a look at the 2-1 goal to Rodriguez, and that's a giveaway there from Evan Bouchard, and just a rip job by Evan Rodriguez.
And it's the game winner.
That's the game winner. And then Edmonton had to press, and Draisaitl, and you can see a little bit of the exasperation, frustration. Bottom line,
I should say that power play goal was the insurance goal, not the game winner. I might have misspoke earlier. Let me ask you this, Bob. We saw some changes coming into game 2. What changes do you expect for game 3, and how many are health dependent?
Well, there's an easy change if Darnell Nurse can't play.
That's CC probably to play alongside Broberg.
And then you go lefty, righty, lefty, righty. And Broberg did not hurt himself again with today's performance.
No, he was solid.
Right, so...
what about up front? Corey Perry was sat tonight. We talked about that in favor of Sam Carrick. You've got Derek Ryan lingering out there. You've also got Sam Gagner lingering out there.
I wonder if Derek Ryan comes back in. Well, I don't see Gagner.
Here's the only thing I'd say about that, Bob. You've scored 1 goal in 120 minutes. What has Sam Gagner shown this regular season? Well, when you drop him into the lineup, he has provided some instant offense.
He hasn't played in 2 months.
I agree.
He hasn't played since April 18th.
I agree, but is he a guy? I mean, I've kind of made the joke on the air. He seems to fall out of bed and find a way to get in the mix. I mean, again, you've got 1 goal in 120 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, they got to think about all these different angles and perspectives.
Yeah. I mean, Derek Ryan hasn't scored a goal since February. I mean, is Gagner a viable option?
I still think it'll be a guy that's played in the playoffs.
I agree. But I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying.
Well, sometimes I am wrong.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we're sitting here, and
I feel like Corey Perry probably, is going to be maybe the first option.
Yeah.
I'm just.
The only thing I'll say is I don't think it hurt having a right shot center in the game, and I always worry about
Sam
that.
Carrick, yeah.
You take a look at what their right shot center did. He did a good job.
Well, that could be Derek Ryan. You probably wouldn't dump Gagne into a series and expect him to play center.
No. He has to play
That's
right
what I
wing.
mean.
He's
He has
playing
to play
right wing. And at this stage, I think Derek Ryan plays right wing.
So that's why I like Garrett.
And I think Fogle that was a tough call on Fogle. That to me is a minor penalty on Fogle, just like it was a minor call on Bennett.
Well, you dealt most of the game with 11 and 5. To your point, 11 forwards and 5 deep.
I think they've won a little bit of the gamesmanship. I think that Florida has known how far they can go on stuff, and they've taken it. And there comes a point here where the Oilers, maybe at some point somebody has to say something and say, there's a lot of after the whistle face washing, and we had 2 Oilers players get their helmets ripped off in game 1. Right. That has been a penalty every time. Was not called in the Stanley Cup final.
Edmonton's the oldest team in the league. Shouldn't they be? I mean, yes. There should be a natural response.
Well, did you see? Did you see how Kulikov sold the stick that he got? Even on the break, McDavid had a breakaway, and Tkachuk was from behind, and his stick was.
Yeah, there appeared to be a tap there.
There was that's a penalty. You're not allowed to stick a guy from behind. Bottom line is Edmonton's going to need to be a lot better, and they're going to need their fans to help pick them up and make Florida feel uncomfortable in Edmonton's building. But the team that needs to do that is Edmonton. The fans can help out a little bit as well, and the Oilers can see if they can rebound. Because right now there's a lot of people out there saying, "See, we told you the series wasn't going to be close." I think it's been a little bit of a deceptive series with the 2 scores so far, 3-0 and 4-1.
Well, it was 1-1 after 2, and obviously, even
you do bring up a valid point about why is Edmonton getting outscored in the third period, and maybe it's just because they're playing better teams as the playoffs go on.
Absolutely,
maybe there's a degree of that, but they're going to have to be better. All right.
Here's the last point I'll make, Bob, and it kind of echoes something you said. The Oilers will have to get the crowd engaged. What they cannot do is what happened in the first 2 periods tonight. No shots in the first 11 minutes of the game, and then 1 shot in the first 9 minutes of the second period. I mean, and I know you got the lead on your first shot, but it came 11 and change into the game. I don't think you want to go into
worry about missing your chance to steal one. Well, you haven't stolen one now, right?
I give Bobrovsky. I mean, Edmonton did everything it could in the first 32 minutes of game 1, and then I thought the Panthers played better. And like you said, they carried that forward. It seemed like they finally got their footing midway through game 1.
They're a good team. They got great structure and process. They're well built. They're built to win this year. They're going to, do they re-sign Montour? Obviously they're going to re-sign Reinhart, but they've got guys coming up in the next couple of years as well. Anyways, bottom line here, Jack, Edmonton's got some work to do. Let's get to our post-game show.
Are you telling me what to do?
Well, I've only tried to for 14 years. That's rollable.
We'll say one last thing about that, and that's Edmonton dropping tonight 4-1. It's 1 goal in 120 minutes to start the Stanley Cup final. Sergei Bobrovsky did not have to work nearly as hard tonight. Edmonton, as Bob pointed out, its best period was the third in terms of shots on goal, but the score, 3-0 Florida. Rodriguez with 2 goals tonight, 3 in the series. The game winner 3 minutes in at even strength, and then the power play goal that ultimately sealed the deal. Ekblad closed the show with an empty netter. Final 4-1. The Panthers were 1 for 5 on the power play tonight. Florida also held Edmonton scoreless on 4 power play chances tonight, 7 in the series. And once again, Oilers off to a slow start on the power play to begin the Stanley Cup final. Same held true in Dallas. They got it going and helped close out the Stars with their power play. Stuart Skinner will be saddled with the loss tonight. He stopped 24 of the 27 shots that came his way. He's now 11-7 in the postseason. And Sergei Bobrovsky shrugged off an early goal that he'd probably like to have back, quite frankly. It was Edmonton's first shot of the game coming 11 minutes in, but he then stopped the next 18 that came his way. He's now 14-5 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, 26-11 over the last 2 years. But all Florida's done, quite frankly, is hold serve. The Stanley Cup final does not truly begin until the road team wins a game. Edmonton will endeavor to make sure that does not happen in Thursday's Game 3. We'll have it for you at 6:20 Mountain Time, live from what should be a raucous Rogers Place. For Bob Stauffer, Reed Wilkins, and Rob Brown, I'm Jack Michaels saying good night from Sunrise, Florida. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup final goes to Florida. The final score, the Panthers 4, the Oilers 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all ours. The Rogers postgame show starts right now.
Exclusive live interviews, expert analysis, and game highlights. This is the Rogers Postgame Show. Once again, here's Bob Stauffer on the Oilers Radio Network.
McDavid hits Eckholm, and all of a sudden, maybe a 3-on-1. Eckholm in over the line with Draisaitl. Eckholm shoots, scores through Bobrovsky, and trickles home. And Edmonton on its first shot of the game.
That's the Century Casino Highlight Zone. All in, all games, all season. Century Casino, 3 great locations. Edmonton, St. Albert next to the Edmonton International Airport at Century Mile. Welcome to the winner's zone. That's as good as it got for the Oilers tonight. They lose 4-1. Matthias Eckholm with the only goal in the 2 games played here in Sunrise. And it's got to be stated, Edmonton had a great start to this series, but couldn't score. And they just simply haven't scored enough. They lose 4-1. They've been outscored 7-1. 2 empty netters for Florida. This is the Rogers Postgame Show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Ready to score big on your outdoor space? It's game time with Park Landscaping. Transform your backyard into a winning arena with Park Landscaping's expert team. From design to maintenance of lush lawns and state-of-the-art synthetic turf to inviting pools and captivating water features, Park Landscaping will make your outdoor space the MVP. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in the game with Park Landscaping. Call 780-486-2744 today or email info@parklandscaping.ca.
McDavid trying to come in with speed. Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores!
Hey, Edmonton. Rogers wants you to stay connected to your Edmonton Oilers.
Connor McDavid! Fantastic!
Catch every goal on Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network with Rogers 5G mobile plans. To learn more, visit rogers.com/5G. That's rogers.com/5G.
You're tuned in to the Rogers Postgame Show on the official voice of the Edmonton Oilers, 630 CHED, and on the Oilers Radio Network.
Boards, Tarasenko couldn't maintain. Worked down little Rodriguez, centering pass. Bennett denied. Skinner charging out to cut off the angle, and he was able to swallow that one up. Basically smother Bennett.
All right, that's the Access Insurance save of the game. Alberta Oil Field and Construction Contractors can count on huge saves when they need it the most. Visit AccessInsuranceGroup.com. Bob Stauffer, Jack Michaels, Rob Brown, Reed Wilkins, Cam Moon, Brendan Escott, the Oilers Radio Network, the Legacy Heating and Cooling Broadcast Booth, Legacy Heating and Cooling, home and no payments, no interest for a year. We're in the Rogers postgame show, and we bring aboard our Inside the Game analyst, Rob Brown. And, Rob, it's got to be stated, Florida, I think, built on what they brought in the final 28 minutes of Game 1 and brought it and applied itself to Game 2. And they were the better team tonight, and they deserve to win 4-1.
Yeah, 100%. I think what you saw tonight as a fan, what the Florida Panthers are all about. I think the first 40 minutes, there was an excitement in Edmonton that this Florida Panthers team wasn't capable of playing with the Oilers. But I think what we saw in the third period in Game 1 and we saw tonight, this is how the Panthers play. You can beat them. The Oilers are good enough to beat them, but they smother you, and they're physical, and they're opportunistic, and physical, and nasty at times. They don't give you much. And I think, the long stretches, the Oilers weren't getting anything going offensively.
Yeah.
This is a very good team. And the Oilers found out tonight this is a series. They might have felt really good about after Game 1. They didn't win the game, but
missed opportunity in Game 1, Rob.
Yeah, tonight they lost a big opportunity, but tonight they saw a much better Panther team, and now they go home, and now the game's become that much more important. The series ain't over, but you have to win Game 3 on home ice. And,
your assessment on does Draisaitl get suspended for that?
I think he'll be fined. I don't think he'll be suspended. I think the call was right. He deserved it. That was an elbow. It was a flying elbow. I know that if Connor McDavid left the game because Ekblad threw a flying elbow, we would be mad. So I was wondering how it got called. It was the right call, but
they didn't call it initially.
I didn't know you could.
No one called it.
Yeah, so I didn't know how you can call a minor. Well, I could see them if they said, you know what, it's a 5-minute major, then look at it and then decide, okay, it's just 2. I could see that. But it was the right call. He deserved the 2-minute penalty. And unfortunately for the Oilers, that's the first time their penalty kill gave up a goal, and it was a mighty big one.
Yeah, right at the end of it, too. The Oilers' power play is 0 for 4. It's 0 for 7 in the 2 games. In my opinion, you get 7 power plays. That's normally a couple goals, and there's been critical times when they haven't broken through.
Well, and they had a 2-man advantage for a little bit, and then throw in the pulling the goalie when it was 4-4, that's a power play. So it's 0 for 7 in the series, but probably 0 for 8 or 0 for 9 if you count the pulled goalie. They've gotten some looks, but give the Panthers credit with the desperation they play with. We've seen a number of times this year where the puck is in the blue paint and a Hyman or a Nugent Hopkins or Connor, Leon, someone will come in and they'll just put it into the empty cage. Well, everything's contested. I mean, there's 3 or 4 times the puck was hanging around the blue paint and you're thinking, okay, here comes a Hyman goal, but he can't get his stick to the puck because they do such a good job of taking your stick away. So the Florida Panthers are very good 5-on-5. They don't give you a whole lot, but if that's the case, then your power play becomes that much more important.
It hasn't been there.
And the power play did not get it done when they needed it. And they had ample opportunities tonight to get the power play going and turn this game around.
Rob, great stuff.
Sounds good, Bob.
Smart Play of the Night's brought to you by Catelli Smart Pasta with all natural ingredients. It's a smart move for your next meal. Look for the box the next time you shop. And the presence of mind for Matthias Eckholm just to power through the Oilers' only goal in the opening 2 games. They lose 3-1 in game 1 Saturday. They probably deserved a better fate that night. They didn't deserve a better fate tonight. Florida was the better team. They win 4-1. This is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Blue-collar work deserves big-dollar perks. Get a heavy wallet with Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals is hiring heavy equipment technicians, maintenance supervisors, PM servicemen, maintenance coordinators, and pretty much every other position that makes Alberta go. We help move the earth that makes Alberta grow. So why not work for a company that makes your bank account grow too? Visit heavymetalequipment.ca to find your new career. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals, helping you move the earth.
The Brick and the Edmonton Oilers both started right here in Edmonton back in the 70s. And we know nothing is more exciting than playoff hockey. We're next to you in the stands, painted blue and orange, cheering our hearts out. And when we're not there, we're in our stores, making sure you have everything you need to cheer them on in your home. We're proud of this city and its rich sports history. The Brick, supporting the Edmonton Oilers and fans right from the beginning. Let's go, Oilers.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. You know what I'm a fan of? Alberta. The wide open spaces, the highways and byways, and a rugged, beautiful terrain that I'm proud to call home. Maybe that's why I'm also a fan of my Ford F-150. It's tough, capable, and smart, which makes it a natural fit for roads like these. So if it's a new truck you're looking for, look no further than the truck Albertans love to drive, F-150. Head into your Alberta Ford dealer and tell them PB sent you.
This is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
All right, out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Pizza 73, official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers all season long. No other NHL auction. We're in the Stanley Cup final. Sounds like Eric Tolsky is going to be the next general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Florida Panthers beat Edmonton 4-1. This is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Get ready to live sky high. Sky Signature Suites offers remarkable units for rent featuring sophisticated floor plans, designer finishes, and breathtaking views. Experience resort-like amenities including a full-time concierge, yoga and fitness studios, golf simulator, plus indoor and outdoor lounges for you to live your best life. Visit SkySignatureSuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 955, is one of Alberta's largest and most diverse union locals in the province. Members work in everything from construction and maintenance to pipelines, renewables, healthcare, education, municipalities, and more. They are a big part of Alberta's past and will be a big part of Alberta's future. Apprenticeship, jobs, pension. That's IUOE Local 955. Visit joinustoday.ca to learn more, and let's go Oilers.
Molson Cup 3 Stars presented by Molson, whether it's Canadian Ultra Export or Accelerators of Molson with your name on it. Third star tonight. Sergei Bobrovsky, 17 saves. Anton Liddell with a couple of assists. Tonight's second star. Evan Rodriguez, the game winner in the insurance goal. He's tonight's first star. The Rogers postgame show is heard following each of our NHL broadcasts from my play-by-play partners. Jack Michaels will call of all of our playoff action, along with Cam Moon, Rob Brown, Reed Wilkins, Brendan Escott. Special thanks to Wayne Gretzky for joining us during our end of the roll first intermission. Kellen Kennedy and Angie Quinnell are our studio producers this year. Kellen at the helm all playoffs long. And Oscar Gonzalez was our engineer here in Florida. The Oilers down 2-0. They got some work to do. They'll be back at Rogers Place, Game 3, Stanley Cup Final Thursday night. So long, everybody.
Rogers post-game show is heard following each of our NHL broadcasts. Portions of this exclusive broadcast are brought to you by Ford, official partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Built Ford proud. Molson, whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it. And Rogers, Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network.